about Iraq. So I want to be clear about this. I want everybody to get this. Fuck Iraq. There's nothing from Iraq on one corner in any black community in the whole United States. They're not a constituency of mine. They ain't done shit for nobody I know. I don't want to see nobody bum rush, but fuck Saddam Hussein. I ain't into him. I ain't into shit he stand for. I don't know shit about him. He fucked around, worked with the American CIA to undermine Ayatollah Khomeini and others in Iran. After they couldn't take Iran and still couldn't, they made him into a bad man, and I ain't into none of that shit. Y'all got me on that one? What did Steve say to Saddam Hussein? Fuck him. Because there is no Saddam Hussein nothing in the black community. Ain't no Saudi Arabian shit in the black community. Check. Ain't no Kuwaiti shit in the black community. So, some people advocate drama with them. I ain't into them because they ain't into us. Somebody put some shit in here, anybody in here want to stand up for Saddam Hussein because of something he did for them? Anybody? Let the record reflect that in Philly, nobody had anything to say for Saddam Hussein because he ain't done shit in Philly. See, now I know why y'all here for an interview. Somebody, Coakley said, don't invade Iraq because that'd be unfair. Nothing out of America fair. All right?
Second question on the sniper. What are your views into that?
What is your question about the sniper? My views on the sniper the last week.
Okay, more specifically, do you feel that the story that they're giving is legitimate, or is it some kind of setup?
What part of the story is legitimate and illegitimate?
The fact that him being a Nation of Islam. Also,
let's start with that part. It is not normal for any black man to leave the U.S. Army and join the Nation of Islam. That is not normal. If he in fact did that, which in fact he did, it was because he was a snitch and a penetrator of the Nation of Islam, and it had shit to do with love of Allah, the Quran, or Elijah Muhammad. None of that. And in fact, I go so far as to say that we are investigating the relationship between John whatever Williams, a three-name man, you know them three-name people, Lee Harvey Oswald, James Earl Ray, John Wilkes Booth, all that shit. Sirhan. As my man said, conspiracy theory. Them three-named people are always suspicious when three-named people show up. So here comes James Edward Best, here comes John whatever Williams. Say when they stopped him, he had how many IDs on him? 3. Exactly. Anybody working U.S. intelligence carries 3 IDs on them. 3 names and 3 IDs. Every time they stopped him, they didn't stop because he always had a good ID. Check. So as far as him being in the nation, we're examining footage now of the assassination attempt on Brother Collins at Riverside. Because I believe when Minister Farrakhan came out and identified him as being in the study group in Tacoma, Washington in 94 and 95, left the nation, showed back up in 97. That 94 and 95, that study group up in Tacoma, Seattle and Portland, had one of its primary inspirations as James Edward Best, the man who shot at Collins at Riverside. Now, on that CNN Crossfire show I did, where I'm going 3 against 1, this tape right here. In this tape, I'm debating the white boy Irv Rubin, who was also at Riverside when Collins got shot. James Edward Best protested in the line with Irv Rubin. I believe that Irv Rubin knew something about John Williams and James Edward Best, so he all of a sudden tries to kill himself in jail. Supposedly cuts his own throat, then falls 18 feet off the tier at the jail. And then, quote, he's dead, then he's brain dead, then he's doing okay, now he's supposed to be dead again. In the sniper tape, I say the hunky ain't dead till we got his fingerprints, his picture, and see his ass in the casket. That's dead. Because I don't want no body switching shit. They do switch bodies and shit and take a man and make him dead like the movie FX took the little mafia boy laying right up in there and gave him new life. Same life saw Anwar Sadat dead. What about him? That hunky's dead. That hunky's dead, sister. That hunky's dead. You know why he's dead? You got a good question. I don't know. He could still be alive. He's a hunky. They couldn't let him go. You're right. Yeah, okay. Next question.
I'm thinking of it right now. The Democrats.
Oh, see, Henry, he gave you some consultation.
No, he's throwing me out here.
You're out here by yourself.
That's right. The recent strong arm of the Congress by the Republicans, to me, you know, it seems like a setup, you know, to go with President Bush. What do you think about it?
Okay. Hunkies in the house. Now, there's no greater threat from each and every one of you that I could relay than to tell you that the 9 hoods at the Supreme Court brought the government 5-4. Right after 90-day stalemate in Florida, they brought the government, so they got that. They got the House, they got the Senate, and they got the White House. Check? Now, under a circumstance like that, they're going to squeeze the shit out of somebody like Mayor Street, who ain't got nowhere to turn for shit. Rendell closer to them monkeys than he is. He ain't even nothing. So I suggest each and every one of you that if you ever thought the shit was treacherous, the shit treacherous now. Now I believe that there's some monkeys out there who hate Bush. Might fuck him up at a minute's notice. Did Gregory say that's the thing about the president during this era, that when you win that election at that certain year, you got that curse on you. But the fact that they're all in there together, Bush could fart and pass it. Now, how did they get it? Shit looks tight, don't think they can win. They tried this shit before. Had a guy they wanted to make a senator in Missouri named Ashcroft. Killed the man on the way to the election. Ashcroft so fucked up he couldn't beat a dead man. Left the dead man on the ballot. Dead man ran against Ashcroft, dead man won. That's how his hunky ass got to be Attorney General. He's the most ruthless Attorney General they ever had. And he only got there because he was the dumbest hunky in the flock. So they upped him to Attorney General. I wish he was Senator. Now, since that shit worked, almost, they tried that shit again. Wellstone wanted a few of the hunkies to vote against the war and shit. Now, I'm up in Oakland, right? That's where Sister Lee is from. The only black person who voted against the war shit when it went through the Congress. How many black senators we got? 0. So she couldn't vote on that Senate shit, but she was the only one in the House that stopped the war resolution from being unanimous. So she feared for her safety. Anybody know who Barbara Lee replaced in Oakland? Dulles. Dulles, who was head of the Armed Services Committee until the Democrats lost the House to the Republicans. Right? So you go to the Black Caucus in September, you got big event, used to be Grumman's and Northrop and all that shit in the front. Well, nigga don't run no committee. So when you walk in there, Pepsi-Cola, Coca-Cola, Gillette, all that service shit. All that military and all the rest of that walked away when the black person had no power over it. So Barbara Lee got a little scared. We down there at Congresswoman Cynthia McKinney's spot, right? Now, I'm going to throw this in there because Bush and them had something to do with creating this black woman named Machette, who, against affirmative action, everything black. She's been against it. She's as white as Bush mama. Now, they made a mistake in Atlanta. See, in Chicago, Machette wouldn't have never ran for no race. Because when they first started, who gonna run against McKinney? Because, quote, we wanted McKinney. Nobody runs against her. She got to run on the polls. We ain't taking no chance on no fucking around voting shit. Because what is it about voting we know? Hunkies can't count. I mean, you say hunkies can't count. Now, in Florida, Janet Reno gonna run for the governor. She's a little dusty butt who covered up the King thing. They didn't count all the votes. 2 weeks later, she concedes. She didn't want to because they didn't count all the votes. But they need elections where all the votes don't have to be counted. People go, oh, well. All right, you understand that? 2 white boys that busted up the computer voting ended up dead. Wrote the book called Vote Scam. Because every time you hit that computer, if you hit computer punch 10 times, the computer could say, give you 8 scores. So for every 10 times you punch it, you lose 2 in the end tabulation. So now they got shit where you go up to the screen and punch it, right? Y'all looking at me like, I don't know. Every state got something different, so maybe they're doing something else here, I don't know. I don't fuck with that vote no more. But in the McKinney race, whoever wanted to get in the race should have been visited. Excuse me, Sister Majid, but you can't run tonight or tomorrow or next week for Congresswoman. What do you want? I mean, if you want to be Congress, maybe you want power. Maybe you want money. Maybe you want prestige, notoriety. Maybe you want to just work for a hunky because that's all you want to do. But remember the boy J.C. Watts, who was the best nigga a hunky had? He walked because of what? Because there's too much hunky for him. Right? That's key to remember that. The best nigga under the hunky slept. Like overseer plus one. Big quarterback, Oklahoma. He all they ever wanted. So, in Atlanta, where I just left, they ain't know, had black mayor, black this, black police, black everything. Hunky running everything. No power in Atlanta. The Sister Majid should have been visited, put out of the race. Now, I don't know how y'all play politics, but at some point, if she didn't believe that getting out of the race was in her best interest, all you do is take $100, put somebody in a car, say, sit right here on this intersection. And when her car drives past there, all you want to do is just hit it a little bit. Just hit a little bit. Boom. Just a little bit. Cost you just $100. Boom. Just a little bit. Everybody falls over. Point being there is that if you're serious about this, then it isn't anything you wouldn't do to make it come about. If you're sitting around here trying to count numbers, you don't even know the game. All right?
The next question is the Office of Homeland Security and its effects on the black community.
Oxford Analytica, which is a group of 500 white people that briefed the World Bank and the IMF a couple of years ago. We talked about them because they're the ones who said that there's a dangerous trend in America in which dissatisfied African, quote, Americans are setting up their own independent schools due to dissatisfaction with the public school system. Now, big money saw a threat in African people setting up their own schools. Because if you don't get school, you don't get the program. Kiss hunky ass, suck my butt for the rest of your life. Nigga, that's school. That's compulsory education. That's Columbus, that's taken and all the works. Now, you don't get that. You can end up a threat to the system because you put that hunky kiss ass shit on bypass. Alright? I pay $600 a month to keep my daughter in an independent African school in Washington. We just had our 25th year. And I talked to them, and that program is like I'm talking to you about 700 people up in there. We're in that school because we put hunky on bypass. These children will grow up and do shit that I didn't do at their age. Now, when it comes to Oxford Analytica, at this IMF World Bank meeting, they did a briefing on Homeland Insecurity was the title of Oxford's briefing at the World Bank, telling every banker in the world, don't you ever believe that there's anything America could do to protect itself from somebody who wanted to kick its ass. There's nothing. Because America is, quote, a target-rich environment. You understand that? Means there's so much shit everywhere that every hunky couldn't cover it all. With me? Now, part of Homeland Security is psych. Remember little kids say, psych? Psych. Here's Psych 1. Now, I didn't bring it, but at the State Department, say, at the State Department when somebody sees some shit, they go, ooh, shit. And they think I ought to see it, they do it like this. Throw it in my file cabinet, the garbage can. I'm gonna do it again. Somebody sees some shit in the State Department, go, oh, shit. All right? They say, oh, shit. And they take that, Copley need to see this. Let me put it in this file cabinet. Because then the garbage man come and pick up my file. Right? Dumps it all in the big sack. Instead of going to the shredder, he go on out the garbage chute. The garbage man. My garbage man. Yeah? Yeah. All right, now. So, now you know I had to change file cabinet. And here's some new shit. So, I'm like, you're going to tell on me tonight, I'm already 3 steps ahead of you. But nevertheless, class, I'll tell you how we used to do it. Now, they threw away this map. See, we in the lecture talking about how hunkies be lying to each other, hunkies to get them to do shit. Now, in Atlanta, I just left Atlanta, right there by where the Olympics were. Now, they needed customers to pay for the shit, so there's a bomb go off there one night, and a sister get blown up. They look around, say, ain't nobody going to the Olympics if we don't solve this. So they went and got a Patsy or a hunky, drug him around, said, this hunky right here, Richard Jewell, he did it. Next day, everybody went back to the Olympics. Next day, day after that, week after that, for 2 more weeks. Then when it was over, they went, oh, shit, that ain't the hunky that did it. Let him go. Mayday money. Now, that means the hunkies will say anything.
That's right.
To get everybody to spend the money.
That's right.
Because spending the money, what ain't about? There ain't nobody concerned about no security. They couldn't secure shit. Half the hunkies they send ain't got the balls to stop some shit. At that Million Youth March, when the fighting started in the street, them hunkies wasn't a bit more ready to fight than Giuliani's ass was. Because I'll show you on the tape, they was backing up. At their club, they backing up. There's a fight going on up there, they backing up. With the clubs, the guns, the sticks, the helmet, the spray. That's right, so hunky didn't want to fight. So now, here we go. Here's the way it looks. Let's see how I can do it here. Here is, this is Andrews Air Force Base. This is where, see now, it used to be that a plane that protected Washington was sitting at the Air Force Base in Norfolk, Virginia. That's maybe 21 minutes from D.C. It passed up, flying past D.C. at 21 minutes. Now, they figured out that was too long. Because then you can leave, here we go. Here's Ronald Reagan Airport. Here's the Pentagon right here. The distance of 90 seconds. A plane leaving Reagan Airport from the Pentagon is 90 seconds away. But the plane to stop this is that far away. Now, how secure is that? Huh? It's not at all. So what is it? What is it? Sight. Right? So that's why Oxford said America was a target-rich environment that can never be secured. America stands at the will of who waits. Alright? We'll do this the whole lecture. Let's keep going.
The newly formed Information Awareness Office and nationwide spying on all of its citizens, including tracking purchases, phone calls, you know, things that they've been doing already, but they're making it known to the public. So the question would be,
okay, who has the new information group? Who did they hire? Who did they bring back to hire to run this new information site job? Who wants to say that? I know you know.
I forgot his name. I just recently read on the internet, but I don't remember his name.
You don't remember his name? You
No.
forgot his name? You don't remember his name?
I don't remember it. I forgot it. I read the article briefly and forgot his name.
Okay, now, I'm in Albany, New York, right? We walking around, I go to get the Forbes 100. Where I do students when I'm with them is, we go into the grocery store, I stop in the doorway, I say, okay, tell me who owns it. If they don't tell me who owns it, we can't go in it. So we at Barnes & Noble, we get ready to get the Forbes 400, we get ready to get the Savoy magazine, got a big article on the Boulay in there. So we get ready to make this move, and we go to Barnes & Noble, I say, okay, who owns it? Now, if they don't tell me who owns it, even though that magazine just 6 feet away, we can't go in there. So they fumbling, they shit, they caucusing, they coming up with 3 names. So finally, the third name was Rupert Murdoch. So, okay, crazy, we walk in. So, all I'm saying is I would say to her, if you read anything, because anything you remember when it's over, it's who. Because what ain't gonna help you. Right? Because what is one thing, see, like I'm with Neely Fuller in Atlanta. Neely Fuller has a cold book on white supremacy, right? Where I come in is that everything done in his code book is done by somebody. You can't do what he's saying in the book unless you know who's doing it. Now, Neely Fuller don't fuck with no names. That ain't his thing. He do what they do. I do who they are. Who they are and what they do go together. And so I said, who did what he said over there? I go together. So now, okay, Khalil, tell the people what's the name of the man who was convicted of being a liar, who was brought back to run or be the primary consultant to this information snoop shit. What Poindexter? What's his name? What was his position during the Iran-Contra? Give me some help. Well, give me some help. What was point? Give me some help. Thank you. Who said that? You did something. All right, brother Black. I appreciate that. That's true. National Security Advisor. Who got that position right now? Condoleezza Rice. Huh? Carolina Rice. Well, that's true too. So she's from Alabama. Alright. Poindexter is the man who was selected to be the primary consultant for the matching of the stuff. Now, Hunky's supposed to have this all along. They got you convinced that you did some shit on a credit card, that no matter where you were, the Hunky could catch up with you. But this is the Hunky problem. Every day you get on the airplane, all that shit going to Hunky's computer. Millions of names a day. Hunky ain't got time to read all that. They give you 3 days to read all that. Take 2-3 days to read all that shit. So it doesn't mean that because they got it, they can use it. Like they go, yeah, there's 911, that's the dude on the camera now. They couldn't see him then, they only saw him later. The credit cards, yeah, I see he bought his ticket with this credit card. Yeah, okay, they can see it now. Found out that they took up a lot of chairs on the flight, reserving seats for people that didn't show up, so that they was gonna kick ass on the plane. There were less people on the plane because they sucked up the chairs with phony reservations. Don't tell nobody that shit in case you doing one of them. You know, you how to even up the sports. You don't want no football team on your flight. On the day you feel funny, you know. So we got this. He said, all right. Okay, great. So now, what do I think about that? I think that the Hunkies are moving so fast on the bridge of the freedoms of the people that the people who already felt they wasn't free no way don't even give a fuck. Meaning that, see, for the first time ever in the history of all the Hunkies, they are all now, when they leave home, afraid that they can get fucked up. For the first time in the history of America, Hunky can leave home and get fucked up. So Hunky going, man, I'm scared now. I'm a brother. He's a brother. This is Abdul Weema, Amadou Diallo, Rodney King. Every time we leave home, we know we could be one of them. Any dumb, stupid, hunky police.
That's right.
Could do anything they wanted when we left home. So when we leave home, see, here comes the police. I put my hands up so long. See, I just up front. I ain't doing shit. Put my pants down. Like she ain't shit in my crack of my ass. Point of that being is that's the way we always live.
Right.
The way they're just now living. Now, I got a scoop for you. You know how we highest in kidney, highest in cancer, highest in blood pressure? Well, this shit is going to change because now Hunky's getting high in that shit. Because now they feeling all the shit you've been feeling about not knowing where that shit was coming from. So we got years of Hunky sickness coming. Hunky's just going to be falling out and shit now. If you into the revolution, wait until they inoculate them 500,000 people with that smallpox and shit. Because 3-4 days after that, some shit liable to break out because the people going to respond to it going to be all fucked up. Because that smallpox, which don't even exist anywhere in America, is going to be shot into people. And they say if 500,000 get it, 350, 400 going to die. They said over 200,000 going to get sick. So I'm going to sit there and say, oh, let me see. I'm going to find 2, 3, 4 I know who took the shit just to see how they doing this shit. They don't budge. You be doing like this, they don't even blink. All right, looks close. And they're going to give, who they going to get them 500,000 shots to? The senators, that too. All the emergency response people. Now who's that? That's the Army, the Air Force, the Navy, the Marines. The Special Forces, the CIA, the hospital workers, the police, the firemen. All them going to get, now, that's everybody I'm looking for anyway. So you you shoot all them up with that shit, I'm just sitting here waiting. That shit going down like a tree being cut. You with me on that? So the day they announced that, if you in one of them jobs, fake this shit like you took. Sign the paperwork that you did. But don't take it. If you do, warn me. Because you're going to be contagious and shit. Now they got this glow-in-the-dark shit. They put some shit in you, you glow in the dark and shit. Yeah, they've been working on that glow-in-the-dark shit. As long as we lit up. All this coming, man. Polio. They done created polio in the lab in New York, and I ain't heard of one fucking person out here ordering them some polio. So where do you think they gonna put that shit? They gonna put it in the people who they thought they would kill with that HIV shit. See, y'all supposed to be dead now. Y'all are like the super rat. Y'all eat that shit up, keep on stepping. So after a while, rat eat that shit so long, it don't even bother. So give me that fucking boy. Give me the what else you got over there? I'm hungry. Don't even fucking bother you. So now my uncle's been all these years, they've been waiting this shit. These niggas ain't dead yet. It's 5 to 7 in Philly. Them niggas still alive. So they've been waiting on some shit that now they've caught up with them. So now they got police squad just left LA. They got police in LA leaving to go to Israel so they can get suicide bomber training. Suicide bomber training. Now, there's one thing I know about that. If they went there for training, all I know is shit coming. And all I know is they ain't never stopped shit over there. Thank God for the Palestinian men, women, and children who resisted the most strongest, evilest beasts amongst the hundreds. Because if they hadn't done what they're doing against what's going on, the shit they were doing about picking out leaders and killing them all, starting with Brother Khaled, who I believe was an executive action taken by Bush in his first week in office, was that Brother Khaled would be killed. And there would be a bunch of killings. Thank God for them Palestinian people who took, and the women who took it upon sacrificing their life. America lived for its bullshit. In other words, they ain't gonna sacrifice nobody but little people. Now they got all these people sitting over there in the Persian Gulf War, Germany and shit, waiting to go into Iraq, right? All of them getting shot up with that same dumb shit again. All of them come back with Persian Gulf shit and all of that. Whole new batch up. But every time they come back here, they start shooting people and shit. Shooting their wives, shooting their children, doing all kinds of dumb shit. All these shootings lately. Arizona crazy dude, John Williams dude. All these Persian Gulf War people. What's America doing to them? Has anybody seen in those 2 chairs there, brother? There's 2 empty chairs down front here, sister, if you want. 2 empty chairs right here on the end. There's one more if you by yourself. There's 1 more chair available. All right, we're going to put the TV up here. We can see a thing or two. All right, so what else you got? Don't give you time. Come on.
This is my last question. What should black people be doing during like a time like this? Like, as far as being active, because, you know, everybody doesn't have the knowledge out there or know exactly what's going on. So what should we be doing as a people to try and, you know...
Just ask, what should we be doing as a people as a result of all of the shit we was just talking about? Now, I just, see, it primarily is up to the people to decide. But let's just watch this right here. I want some suggestions about what we should be doing in consideration of what's going on. Anybody volunteer? This is going into the record. Anybody volunteer, and then we see what we get. Yes, brother, the glasses. Your brother's gonna bring you the mic so we can get it into the tape. There you go. Is that coming out? Because I'm not hearing it.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. He's going to turn it up in a second. All right, now.
I think we should be forming alternative communities, something like communal societies, purchasing large tracts of land and starting to build right from scratch. I think that's the way I see it.
All right. Anybody else? Yes, brother behind me. Pass the mic back.
I think one of the key things that we need to do starting right now is to stay out of crowded places, especially where there's a lot of Europeans. Just stay out of those places.
All right. Anybody else? Anybody else? Yes. Let's push it forward. Let's go to
Oh, okay. Those individuals that, while I agree that all of us have a special trade or a profession, I think that we should start branching off and starting our own businesses, schools, clinics, starting off underground and then branching off more public.
All right. So we needed some underground clinics, schools, businesses.
Institutions.
Okay. All right, thank you. Yes, brother.
Yes. What I was going to say, the ideas that I just heard, I think they're excellent ideas. Presently, I'm in the military. I'm just here on leave right now. And I first found out about you while I was previously in the military overseas. And what I've noticed...
I'm sitting in the box over one. Damn, this is fucked up man over here, ain't it?
Yeah, I first heard...
Brother Coakley over there, he gets you out here.
I first heard the name Steve Coakley in your lectures in Germany, where I was living at for a
Yeah,
period of time.
Tracy goes over there. Why he tried to get me to go over there to speak to the military, Germany, Japan.
Like you said, the tapes grow. Once they leave your section, they go all over the world.
All right, all right.
And what I was going to say,
all the way over in Germany.
they even in Africa too, because I passed some of the tapes on to some African friends I had. They take it down into Africa.
Just left Zambia, and he over there, he said, I got brains for all these tapes. I got
Louis Farrakhan and Steve Coakley names and Dr. Khalid named those names. I first found out about Dr. Khalid Muhammad in Germany. A friend of mine had sat me down and made me watch the tapes, and like you said, once those tapes go, they go all over the world. But what I was going to say about the subject, what I noticed about the situation of our people that we're in, a lot of the stuff that you're talking about, they have a strong idea on what we're trying to do. The CIA, the FBI, and so forth. A lot of the things that you're trying to formulate to better the situation for our people and just anybody who's a good human being, they're already arranging, they're already working on that. And what I noticed, like Maxwell Jordan said, and this is a white person, he said the majority of American society is drugged up and they don't know it, meaning this American culture, this American religion, and a lot of us, it's hard for a lot of us to break away from the American culture. Like any junkie, it's hard to give up a drug you've been born into. So I just want people to think about that American culture, that's going with religion and so forth, because you'd be surprised what religion can do to people when it's not proper.
I was just in Atlanta. I don't know if you all watch Talk Back Live on CNN. I was there on Wednesday and Thursday with my daughter in the audience, and one of the days they were talking about this dumb shit, what car would Jesus drive, or something stupid. They spent 30 minutes on that. They had a Barkley and Johnny Cochran there. We spent 30 minutes on what would Jesus drive when he was here today. So during the commercial, they'd be asking you what you think, so that I didn't get any questions. I was doing the commercial, the brother walked around and everybody talks to him and comes up with the questions. And then at the end of the commercial, they decide which of those questions will go on there. So, and dad got to think, oh, I'm reading my answer. Well, Jesus came back today, George Bush would arrest his ass as a threat to national security. They said, no, okay, we're going to be dealing with that. All over my shit, put on the next. So, then came this key one right here. So after we got through doing that Jesus drive, like I said, he didn't put $65,000 of PR in it, and here we were on national TV. He's getting $1 million worth of PR. Look, where's the camera going? No, just where the picture go. That's all I ask. I just still ask you. Yeah, but I still ask you. It's your picture. No, I ain't got no problem about who you are. See, he come up to me with a picture. I asked him, I've been knowing him. I just asked you where the picture going, that's all. It's just your picture. You make a copy of the picture for me. Oh, why don't you go ahead and shoot the picture? All right, go ahead. I know that, look, I want to teach y'all something about intelligence community. That's who I know. Now, can't nobody somebody I know. So who else would I let do anything unless I knew him? So if Henry say he want to do, Henry will tell you. When Henry say he want to do something, I said, for what? She said she wanted me to quit. I said, for what? After we went through all of that, then we got to do it. Noah went through 8 hours of interrogation before we did the video. Brother, I said, no, we went to 9 hours of deals before we got to the deal. So ain't nothing wrong with none of that. Don't feel uncomfortable. Huh? You understood what I just said, though, right? And the common intel, you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm trying to tell you. If somebody hand me a drink down, your buddy here, so get the cold. No. Pour this shit down. I just had a sister I've been with. Listen to me now. I just had a sister I've been with for 12 years. We got a 10-year-old baby. Right? Now, we breaking up. Part of everything that we do is breaking down what I stand for. And on our last meeting over how we going to do with our daughter, she working, she a nurse. They promised his sister to be the youngest supervisor in the history of Howard University Emergency Room, which is where she worked at. On that last meeting with me, she bring a threaded needle. Now, when she go up, she insists on we have coffee. I told her, but what I did, she don't drink coffee. But she want to have coffee with me at a restaurant, and I said, no, come to the house. And while she goes to the room to make the coffee in the living room, her jacket falls and the needle falls out. I take the needle and the jacket, and I put it away. A little later on, I see a picture for her that she don't see it. And then she don't say shit. She leave and don't say shit. It took me 9 months before I told her that I checked that Nicolás needle that she dropped at the coffee meeting. Because now all of this, I mean, was all this stuff here, all these years to make, you finally got through, you're free now. All of that shit you just talking about, all I was supposed to do, all of that. And at the end of that, all I was supposed to do was drink the damn coffee. But I had to leave. I sent the needle to the lab, I know what was in it. Now I'm going to never ask me, then I drop a needle in your place. You can't take a controlled substance out of Howard University Hospital without signing for this shit. But Howard University president, Patrick Stryker, whose house I marched on Arizona Boulevard in D.C. to keep the lectures going at the Howard Cafe, who used to be at the State University of New York and Albany, where I just left, where they had 500 police there to monitor the lecture between myself and Linda Jeffers. Because, I didn't know what they were with her. But bottom line was, that can only come from somebody I know. So I ain't into, I know you. True. Well, what does that mean? Nothing. Because I can know you. See, you really want to set somebody up, you do them 10 times, you do them right, you only playing for one. If you fucking shot college in 95, and now you see that's too much out there in the public, we went on the street in California to hunt down and back off people. They were mailing college rats at the hospital in Riverside. The boy Herb Rubin was asking to meet with Mr. Fair down in Las Vegas to finish college off. But Rubin is dead and college is dead. Just a matter of fact. But the bottom line is that encountering well, you don't have no free. Don't drink the drink on pour. Don't eat no shit nobody hands you. Eat that lamb. So then we come down to this food. Right? I don't mean I'm eating. I'll take it. I'm gonna wrap it up. I'm taking it all. Get that shit dump it right in the garbage. I appreciate the effort. It might have been good. It might have been. I might have been better off at random with a cheeseburger. I didn't have that. I'm sorry. That didn't work. That's only straight up. Everybody did that way. But the big and tasty. But the bottom line, what you eat though? Bean burrito. All right. Who gave you that burrito? Oh, the guy. I know who you were. Right. All right. So that's Intel one. All right. You okay? You all right? All right. Okay. All right. You have another question?
No, I'm finished. Thank you.
All right. You try to stand up.
Yeah, my back is hurting.
All right. That feel good for my back. All right. Thanks.
Thank you.
All right. You're gonna send me the article, okay?
Yeah.
Well, But when they send you out here next time, make them give you a tape recorder, because that's how everybody else do it. Ain't nobody, unless you know shorthand, this ain't gonna never work. Right, so all you need is a tape recorder. Nice. Right. Thank you. Right. Alright, I think we got this TV VCR, and I don't think all y'all gonna be able to see it back there, right? Right? Don't come back there again. I need you to get down. Go back. Straight. Alright. What we should do, okay? Somebody pass it down to somebody. Let me get my water too while I'm talking. The sister might be back.
Okay. And my answer to that question was that we should gather up the children and gather up ourselves and gather up the children and teach them the information that we're coming into consciously, so that they can take it on to the next, the coming years, and also teach them how to live off of the great Mother Earth to survive. And that's our biggest thing, is to gather up our children and give them this information in a collective way, as opposed to in pieces that has come through over the 30, 40 years. Because everybody has a different religion or different aspect, so we need to give it to them solidly so that they can move forward with it. All in one piece, somehow.
All right. All right. How's the African independent school system doing here in Philly? Struggling? That's scary, because it's got to be vibrant. Yes, brother. About the African independent school system?
The school system, what they're doing, they're arresting the children.
Ah.
Like they was treating them.
Ah, okay. In the African school system? No, in the white school system?
The public school.
In the public school system. Okay. Status report on how's the African-centered school system doing here in Philadelphia? Y'all not saying shit. Struggling is the word? Anybody got their child in an African independent school here in Philadelphia? There's only one left? What's the name of it? Lotus.
No, two, I'm sorry. And they're at
Sister said something that's correct that would disqualify it. She said it's a charter school. Is that true?
not main people. She never told me that.
Give me a ruling on the charter school. Which one is the charter school, you think? The charter school. Okay, and what's the independent school? All right. Anybody here got their children in either one of them schools? Ah, y'all scaring me. How many of y'all got children in school? Don't be scared now. I ain't gonna be beating you up in that. All right, okay. All right. How you brothers doing back there? All right. Yes, sir. Go ahead, it's on. It's not coming up. Hold on, you're getting it now.
Hear me now? Yeah. What about the school Imani? Have you heard anything about that, or do you know anything about that?
No, I don't. Is that here in Philadelphia?
Yes, it is.
It's a charter school.
Okay.
Okay, I don't count the charter schools because that's still public school. Still getting paid. Hakeem Al-Buti School, Institute of Positive Education in Chicago, is now in a grammar school that I used to go to, but it's a charter school. And in that case, they felt that was the only way to make it. Where I am in D.C., where our daughter's in Roots, which is the African-centered school, the sister moved over and also has a Roots charter school. Now, her purpose for that was that she felt that what was coming out of Roots was so strong, they were having a hard time with African people having charter schools in D.C. They were busting them down personally. Now, I remember when the person came up here and dropped that. And so she jumped out in the spirit of having African-centered schools for other people. She opened up the little Roots charter thing, and Roots Charter School, and it's an interesting, some of the teachers from the original Roots went over to the charter school, but it's an interesting interaction there, in that it's a charter school and the white people come around from time to time and look up everything and round everything. There are no white people show up at that. In fact, I've never seen a white person in Roots. And let's see, Mark's in the 5th grade. She's been there since preschool. I've never seen a white person even on the playground in Roots. The main Roots, I ain't never seen, or closest they come is across the street, where there's a electrical licensing building across the street. All right. Okay. So anyway, I appreciate everybody coming out tonight. We get to have this little discussion. See if we can make some sense of some stuff. A couple of things I want to put on this tape to show you that I think are sort of relevant. Maybe they ain't. I don't know. Let's see here. There's a white woman got a book out on Skull and Bones. Now, once you start putting a lot of pressure on something, people will begin. Let me just make sure. Let's see how this looks. Second here. Oh, hold on. I'm just the only one looking at it right now. All right. Okay. Looks clear. We'll just let it run backwards a while. And we'll get a feel for it. And when I put something on that TV, it's likely some of you will stand up. Probably likely. Since I'm standing up, I don't feel too bad about it. My sister said her back was hurt. While I be giving these lectures, I be knees hurt. I got a big abscess on my tooth. My knee is sliding out the socket. I was on the train coming from Atlanta. I felt every bump coming up from Atlanta to Washington. But that ain't got nothing to do with shit. Revolution can break out one day, you sick. You be saying, oh, I'm sick and shit. So it's likely. Back on that 911 stuff while we in the meantime, the only place you are safe in the post-911 world is in your own neighborhood. Now, you heard white folks was testing some shit the other day, week ago, a month ago, they was playing that Bin Laden dead shit. And I'll tell everybody that the day they announce that Bin Laden is dead, wherever you are, go home. They say, we got Bin Laden captured. You see him with a mask on his head. They're walking somebody in like they've been doing. And you know down there in Guantanamo, they've been injecting them with shit. They've been putting truth serum in them. They've been torturing them. That's why there ain't no rules and regulations. In Guantanamo Bay, where they got, quote, Al-Qaeda suspects. Now, they claim they caught somebody the other day. Wasn't Bush a clever bastard? Now, I'm going to stand here and talk. Some of y'all going to look at that TV. Ain't shit going on that TV. Believe me. But ain't shit going on here either, so.
Why did they bring these people to Cuba?
What?
Why did they bring these people to Cuba?
These are so-called prisoners of war, but they won't call them prisoners of war because there are rules for prisoners of war. Certain things you can and can't do. See, America wants an international world court, but they want to be immune from prosecution. Typical old hunky shit.
Well, Fidel Castro had to do with that because they're using the land for that.
No, this is a part of Cuba that America colonized.
Right.
They've been keeping this little part of Cuba since Cuba been there. Just some more hunky shit. It's just like they colonized Philadelphia. Now, all right. You know why they take temperatures of body? You know why you take temperatures on the body? You know, like thermometer and all of that? Because from time to time, shit changes, right? So you'll see me at different times of night. I'll be sticking a thermometer in so I can get a reading on the heat. Check? Because from time to time, the body changes. You understand that principle? Okay. Somebody said, I looked over there and that shit wasn't moving. So well, if you kept looking, you'd have saw it when it moved. Because things change. All right? Okay. Now, if y'all notice, like Brother Collins used to say, Brother Khalil knows this line, we didn't check nobody coming in. We didn't pat you down. We didn't check you, right? Because we all packing. We all got guns, right? Some shit break out, the best shooter's gonna win, right? Because we're confident that we're good shooters. So we didn't need to check, because we all carry, right? All right, check. You hear all the checks as the gunners fade in. Check, 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 check. All right? Okay. Now, so the only place you safe is at your own neighborhood. That's the one place where ain't nobody looking for you, but who was looking for you before all this started? If you at them jobs, anybody, you know, I'm just scared of people with, how many of y'all in here got jobs? Now, be scared of y'all. I appreciate y'all being here, but I be scared of y'all because someday something might be happening. Somebody says, well, I just got to go work this 2 more weeks, get 1 more check, and it'll be okay. All right, but it'll never be okay because we'll never get enough or whatever that is because they never set it up for that to happen. And so, don't worry. It could be better under the new thing. You wouldn't have to do that. See, somebody say, I need money. No, you don't need money. You need the things you want, some of which you need money to get. Okay? Now, let me hear you say this word here. Hocus pocus dominocus. Say it one more time, because this is a cold word, so shit break out. You be at your job, and you can't say what you really know. See, like Coakley file cabinet thing, you need to hope, let me hear you say this. Now that means, don't tell nobody, mean white folk coming. Right? Now you might be at the job and can't tell. You be typing some shit up, say, ooh, tomorrow white folk are gonna come and incarcerate all the black people. You just get on the phone and go, hocus pocus dominocus. Somebody know what is right. Cut, don't nobody have to argue it. We ain't gonna debate it. That means get the shit ready because white folk coming. Now they are coming because they got everything they ever wanted is in place right now. They got the, anybody seen any civil rights all-stars lately? We used to be stumbling over them. Urban League, NAACP, Jesse and all that, they used to be all over the place. They ain't nowhere to be seen now. They ain't even on the set. Don't even check in, ain't trying to get to the president. Used to be a Negro leader would want to meet with the president to increase donations. So see, I'm at the White House. And that Bush ain't even playing none of that. There are no Negro leaders in the White House. Ain't nothing. That Democratic Party didn't get no nigga voters registration money. See, when Jesse and Sharp and all them want to get paid, they go to the DNC and they give them street money, $1 million, $2 million, just to get out the vote money. But wasn't no niggas getting out the vote this round, was it? You don't see no niggas running around here, get out the vote, paying out shit to people to work the polls and all that. All that was dead. Because the Democratic hunkies is to merge with the Republican hunkies to form hunkies again. It's a new party called Hunkies Again. We just left this big ass convention they had in DC called Hunkies for Halloween. Because see, they almost didn't have that Halloween because that sniper shit. Now, what would have happened if the sniper shit had kept going when the election came? See, that's how I know this was some white shit. Because they killed that shit before the election came because they would have tainted the election if hunkies didn't come out and vote because they was afraid sniper was going to get them. And how we going to believe there's some people that killed 13 people and all of a sudden they fucking going to call a Catholic priest and confess and shit. They some Muslims. I'm going to call a Catholic priest say, what the fuck you talking about? You did what? Check you out in Alabama. Who is you? Tell the sniper, damn it. Well, what made the sniper call the Catholic priest? That shit ain't normal. Then you're going to be pissed off at the American government. You're going to shoot a black boy in the chest. You're going to shoot Ken Bridges. You're going to kill a man. Got a $5 million deal on the table about moving herbs and nutmeg and going to Africa. And you just going to shoot his ass because you pissed off at hunkies? Nah, I don't believe none of that shit. I don't believe none of that. Impossible. Huh? How much you know? You know what's 500 you in the my time? I ain't in it either, huh? I'm in it. Go ahead. 500 million. 500 million what? Somebody hollering something on the other side. What about it? Oh, that's how he finished. He just said it was a $500 million deal. And by saying, yeah, you ever seen $500 million? I know that the money that got put up was $5 million. Ain't nobody got no $500 million. You can't have a $500 million deal and don't have $500 million. All right? Ain't no 500 million sitting around nowhere. Cause somebody swear we gotta divide this shit up. See, all my time members get a piece of the 500 million. No, there's not 500 million sitting there. The impact of the deal could be 500 million, but the money in the bank is 5 million. Now maybe I don't know shit. Alright. Two things we running. 911, take your butt home, tell your person at your job you going home. It appears to be trouble. Brother Coakley told us to go home. Anything happened to Bin Laden, if you're here when all of that is over, I'll come back. So you come back to the job if all shit go clear. But if they start doing that, I got Bin Laden, you be jumpy. Because that's likely to compel some reaction, don't have nothing to do with you. And you don't want to be caught up in that. Now I remember, see, it's a white woman, right? She was on the train with me the other day. She produced this book. She got a book out there. And she's a secret society person from Yale, right? So being in a secret society, she decided she would do a book about a secret society. And her book about the secret society is a little scary because everything she be saying about it be booty biting. So I'll be a little worried about it. This is her book right here. I'll put it up for the camera. Skull and Bones, Secrets of the Tomb, Skull and Bones, the Ivory League, and the Hidden Paths of Power by Alexandria Robbins. Anybody got this book? Secrets of the Tomb. I don't know if Brother sell the book here. It would be good to have it around, not because we into her. Now, I'll be saying, if you be a bootlegger, why don't we copy white folk book and sell it? Or are we afraid of white folk? White folk got copyright. All right, so I hope one of y'all take and copy this shit and sell it. Yeah, it is, all right. Okay. Now, this the white woman run around with the book, right? She talking Skull and Bones stuff.
Here's the Skull and Bones, which some of you...
Uh-oh. We done got a freeze here. Let's see, is that on pause? What is going on? Play? Uh-oh, went off. Okay, let's go with power. Let's go with play. Is there some white folk in here? Fucking with the TV? Y'all cut this shit out. Y'all upstairs? Y'all white folk upstairs? Come on, let us get with trailer trash. See there? Look at that shit. Y'all white folk in here? Somebody got some counter TV stuff in your hand? Yeah, what's up? Anyway, let's go back. Sniper. Let's go into the sniper thing a little bit. How many of you all saw the Newsweek article about the sniper had the sniper and the boy on the cover? Anybody read that Newsweek? Something in the 5th paragraph of that Newsweek article that I thought set the whole shit up. Anybody know what it said? 5th paragraph. Okay, let's go back. The boy goes to Louisiana. He goes to see his cousin. She's a policewoman. The policewoman say, well, what you got in the bag? Say he had a little bag like this. He kept carrying everywhere. So she said, what's in the bag? He said, oh, let me show you. Oh, shit, TV didn't went out on us. Oh, no. Okay, let's try that one. Damn. Skull and Bones in the house. Okay, push that on rewind. Let's see what happened there. Or do we have a, you got a thing to do the tracking or nothing? We ain't got, oh, okay. Okay. Now, that, he went to see his cousin, and that give you a clue. Okay, cousin says, what's in the bag? He opens up the bag and pulls out a box. He opens up the box and pulls out the gun. She said, well, what's up with that? He said, well, and it's right in Newsweek. Let me see if I can show it to you just so that y'all know I ain't fabricating it. I know the line, I know the words, but I show it for the audience just so that we be straight on this part. Newsweek magazine, the week after they caught him, they had the so-called snipers on the front page. And in that was a story. That one too? Oh, shit now. Hold it. Come on, Jesus. That's a result of some of that old shit we used to do. Jesus. Okay, is this particular story, let me show this up for the camera. Is this story, that was the cover. They had the sniper and the boy on the cover. And in the story, I have the internet copy of it. In the story, in fact, that's part of that cover. That was the shot inside with the boy and the... now, I don't advocate to read these things because you're interested in white folk or you really like Newsweek, but you read it because you're monitoring the hocus pocus dominocus, and every now and then there's a thermometer or two you'll get off. Say, before they invaded Iraq last time, they put the whole plan in Newsweek. They did exactly the shit they put in Newsweek the week before they did it. Because they so confident with the over long numbers they got that it don't make no damn difference if anybody knows. They can just do it anyway. That's hunky arrogance. See, the hunky's spreading this vicious rumor out. Said, no, that 911 shit never happened. That wasn't no plane. It was some other shit. They're making up shit it is now. But that's just some shit not to say they got hit in the face. And anybody read that article? Anybody know what's in there? All right, ain't but one paragraph I need to share with you. And in that one paragraph, I'm going to read you what it says right here. It's the 5th paragraph in the story. It's a 20-page long story. How many of y'all ain't hit no Bridges or knew Bridges or in the Mai Tai or heard of him or respected him? Raise your hand. Okay, some of y'all never heard of Ken Bridges in the Mai Tai? You've never heard of Ken Bridges in Mai Tai? Sister, you ever heard of Ken Bridges in Mai Tai? You've never heard of him before the sniper shooting? Anybody ever heard of a man named Wellington? One person, 2 people, 3 people. All right? I'm going to bring his name up. In that sniper tape, you are going to hear me challenge some things he said. Now, in this paragraph, said the following quote. He claimed that he was an immigrant import-export business, according to his cousin, Charlene Anderson. Quote, he said it helped people who were in trouble get in and out of the country. Now, first thing we know is that after all of this, we found out the man was dealing in documents. Birth certificates, social security numbers, and what else? Passports. Very good. Now, when you're dealing with passports, are you going in and out of customs, it's likely you got what working with you? The government. Somebody on the inside. Right? Because you just ain't going to be running no passports and you a nobody. I'm up here selling somebody some passports and they don't have shit in Sinola to know if when they get to the counter, the person going to play along. Now, people in Antigua have been complaining about paying for shit they didn't get. Because when the heat came down, everybody stepped back. They don't know shit about what he was doing. But somebody had to know because they was helping him do it. Right? All right. Now, does that mean the TV ain't going to never work? All right. I mean, ain't no big deal. I just got a thing or two I will show you. What was the bullet? What was the bullets? What kind of bullet did the sniper use? No. What was the bullet called? What was the numerical breakdown of the bullet? Y'all scaring the shit out of me. I just knew when I came to Philly, everybody would know all. I better keep my gun on and shit. Y'all scaring me. What was the make of the bullet of the sniper? For all the shootings, had the same kind of bullet. Oh, you're getting close. Oh, say it again. 2, 2, 3. Oh, how many did that add up to? Okay, turn it in reverse. What do it say? 3, 2, 2. Let's see. Here's the skull and bones. What's the number on that, sister? What's the number on the skull? 3, 2, 2 is the number on the skull and bones. Well, what kind of bullet was it? 223. 223 was the size of the bullet, and the skull and bones on the door. I've been to the door. Some of y'all seen the film and the tape. I'm pulling on the skull and bones, and right on the door is a skull and bones with 322 on it. Okay, well, it's probably just a coincidence. What kind of gun was it? Oh, no. A what? A Bushmaster. Damn, that's still probably just a coincidence. It was a Bushmaster what? It had a Bushmaster and it had some letters and a number. Bushmaster what? Y'all scaring me. Hocus pocus domino kiss. See, because if you don't know these, they're likely they'll be coming sooner than later. Say, well, who we gonna beat up first? The ones who don't know no better. Y'all have all the answers, they move on. You ever seen somebody defend themselves real well, the bully go fuck with somebody else? Why you think Bush fucking with Hussein and Taliban in Afghanistan instead of China? You don't see him fucking with China. They tore that fucking plane up, send it back in pieces. You don't see him fucking with China, do you? You see him fucking with China? Huh? When the last time America? Well, America did. They bombed the Chinese embassy, said, oh, fuck, I didn't know it was there. But every embassy is on every fucking diplomatic wall.
They got one from us. First of all, they look like near China.
Yeah, but they did test them. They tested them, and Chinese tested them back. So Bush over there fucking with Putin. Putin from Russia. They over there want to fight. They want to fight the black people of Russia. What they call? What's the black people of Russia called?
Russia.
Oh, somebody said it. Chetniks. So yeah, them black people. They won't fuck them up. They don't like Russia either. So Bush gonna help them beat the black people. When they was down there in Bosnia and all that, what was the people over there they was trying to kill? Black people. Come on now, there was ethnic cleansing. Come on now, this killing black people shit is a hot program they got going. So it was a Bushmaster XL-15. Now, 15, the number 15. You remember, we do the boule, got the logo, and on it is these squares, these 9 squares, and 9 squares. 9 squares is the 9 chambers of the Kabbalah. When you put numbers in the 9 squares, they all add up to what?
15.
Oh shit, you got the Bushmaster XL-15 on the 223 bullet. Hey, anybody ever seen the bill of sales for the rifle? No. You know what happened? Of all the guns this man sold, he ain't got no record of this gun. In fact, they looked up and found out that the U.S. trained sniper sharpshooter who run this rifle shop got 350 guns, ain't got no paperwork. That's probably or likely where U.S. Army Special Forces get the guns that stay off the books. See, if you're running off the book operation like Poindexter and the rest of them, you're running off the book operation. You ain't got no bill of sales for some shit that's going to incriminate somebody. Remember that Oswald shit? You shoot him with the handgun. They arrested Oswald for killing Officer Tippit. Later on, they got him for the murder of Kennedy. Then they did what? To mop the shit up. They killed him. So I would tell you now, you ain't never heard John Williams say shit. But before he do say one thing, they gonna kill his ass. I'm telling you now, they gonna mop it up. They gonna let the boy go. Eventually, even though they said the boy did the killing, got the boy doing the shooting and the man doing the driving. They living in the car. They sleep in the area where they doing the shooting and shit. They just sleeping in the car. They talking to them on the TV. They ain't even got a TV. You understand that? They giving them all these messages and we just want to tell the sniper we got your message. I'm God. And he said, I am God. I said, hey, God. Now he's trying to make it 5%. How about that shit John Williams did security at the Million Man March? You seen any pictures? No. There aren't any. He wasn't there. But they played that shit out. What was the first description of the Oklahoma bomber? Nation Islam. Come on now. Yeah, it can happen. We ain't on it. It can happen. That's part of the reason and the purpose we have a program here tonight is to stop it from happening. So, Bushmaster XL-15 223 bullets. Now, this movie right here is about a sniper. I was in Atlanta. They brought me this movie out. Wesley Snipes, Liberty Still Stands. He's a sniper shooting at a woman who runs a gun company. But then when the bullet falls on the ground, she looks up and she says, it's obviously you're using 223 bullets. Liberty Still Stands, Wesley Snipes movie. Now they're messing with Wesley Snipes because Wesley Snipes trying to do something down in Atlanta they don't want to see happen. Okay. The bill of sales for the gun is missing. This is how they set us up. They out there in Tacoma, Washington, cutting off a tree trunk. You remember that? They in there cutting off a tree trunk? Cutting off a tree trunk, setting us up for who done it. Now, what did they say was in the tree trunk? Bullets. How did the bullets get there? Now, imagine you at home and somebody in the backyard shooting some bullets in the tree trunk. Ain't no police report. Ain't nobody called no police. Ain't shit happened, right? They say, don't call the police. They got to go kill 20 people before we tell on them. Then they set us up. They cutting the tree out. We ain't heard from the tree since. They cutting the little tree trunk out. Now, when they arrest them in Maryland, the charge is weapons violation because of the protective order put on Williams in Tacoma for the woman that he threatened. He was not allowed to have what? And that. You said children? Yeah, but no. As a result of the protective order, yes, he was not having custody of children because he had taken them to Antigua. But what else was he not supposed to do? Visitation. Okay, what else was he not supposed to do? I'm going to stand here all week unless y'all come up with this shit. What was he not supposed to do? Yes. Have a gun! Hold it now. You got a man who wasn't supposed to have a gun in the backyard in Tacoma doing what? Shooting a gun. I'm in a damn residential neighborhood where I ain't supposed to have a gun. I go all the way across country and they arrest me for having a gun and for the protective order in Washington. Tacoma, Washington now. Okay. Boy, y'all make this here hard.
They want the people.
Huh?
They don't want the people to have guns.
Who don't?
The government.
Well, we'll show a little bit this bowling for Columbine. There's more guns out here than ever before. The biggest people buying guns are white people who all moved to the suburbs to protect themselves from other white people who are shooting each other. That's what Columbine was about. The white people who moved to the suburbs didn't have shit else to do, so they turned on each other. That was what was happening before 9/11. Hunkies was killing other hunkies. How about the little white boy going all over the Midwest dropping bombs in the mailbox? What was he pissed off at? Who was he pissed off at? Huh? Y'all scaring the shit out of me. Thank you. At the government. So he blowing up mail. What state they catch him in? Texas. Y'all scaring me. Boy, y'all gonna make me do Coakley 101 tonight. I can't even do the hot shit because I got to lay concrete and put foundation in the building before I can talk about the 4th floor. I gotta come back here, man, next week. Finish this shit off. Alright. Okay. So, we got a Bushmaster XL what? What kind of bullet? Oh, that's much better. And when you, now, New Haven, Connecticut is the city of the 9 squares. What's in New Haven, Connecticut? Yale University, Skull and Bones. Thank you. All right, we sound like we got the basement all together now. Okay, now, okay, and the man shooting bullets out there in the tree trunk, but he ain't supposed to have a gun. Now, anybody see the guy from the shelter on the news? It was a white guy, he ran the shelter. He said for the first time in 27 years, this is the first time I ever told on someone who was in my shelter. And then he said this guy just kept flying all over the United States. And then the TV camera shows an airplane going across the sky. Now, I ain't heard shit about him on the airplane. I ain't seen no Muhammad Allah shit where he coming in through the security. fact, they don't even want to say he ever was on a plane. But a lot of people said he had a lot of money. But then they living like they ain't got no money. And they say he stole a laptop, right? Now, if I stole your laptop and you got that code word, what happens to me? I can't do shit with it, right? But now they say they found a stolen laptop where they put all the murders on it. And everywhere on the map where they marked the murder, Washington Post 2 Thursdays ago said they put a skull and crossbones on every kill. Fled to Mexico because he was sleeping with the black woman. Hey Bush, hey Daddy Bush, didn't you kill Jewel off one time, that sister from Chicago? Didn't you kill her when it was about to come out y'all was having an affair? Check the lights. Alright, see, sometimes you gotta know some shit, get some room. Huh? See, knowing shit can get you out of trouble sometimes. Not because somebody's gonna sell you something for it, but again, they gonna go to somebody who don't know what you know. Anyway, okay, I ain't gonna bore y'all with this. All right, let me go back. Let me go back and read you from the Newsweek. Charlene Anderson, quote. Who is Charlene Anderson? Oh, all right. It says cousin.
Before you go, that's why Bush actually filed for help because his brain is, he said he have a lot of smoke because it was moving too much refund.
Where you from, man?
Well, my mother's from Pennsylvania.
And what country?
From Borinquen.
From where?
Borinquen.
Where's that from?
That's a slave name, Puerto Rico.
Oh, okay. All right. So that's, what's the name? The right name? Borinquen.
I'm from the Taino nation.
All right. Okay. Okay, let me ask you this one question. You tell me if they know it in Puerto Rico. Who giving this lecture? There you go, me. There you go. That's English. All right. Charlene Anderson, quote, he said he helped people who were in trouble get in and out of the country. He was so well dressed. He was so well dressed, kind of like he had been put up on a shelf, she told Newsweek. But when John, who had changed his name to Muhammad, showed up a few months later, late last summer, he was dirty and hungry. His posturing had veered into dangerous delusions. Summoning Anderson into the kitchen, he closed the door and unzipped a long green duffel bag. Inside the bag was a case. Inside the case was a rifle. Muhammad explained that he was working for, quote, a special secret strike, a secret special forces group. So when asked by his cousin, who's a policewoman, what are you doing? He said, I work for special forces. Now, that's important to me because when they went in custody of the Maryland police, they stopped him in Virginia, pushed him over to Maryland where they had the 5 murders. They had in the paper, Muhammad talks to Maryland police. The Maryland prosecutor runs out and announces he's going to prosecute him first. Then the feds come in and grab him and take him to the Fed jail in Baltimore, and he shuts up. Because he knows the feds, and the feds know him. So the feds make sure he don't have to talk about the secret special forces group to recover missing C4 explosives stolen from military bases by drug smugglers. So Muhammad tells his policewoman cousin he's working for special forces to recover missing C4. Now, where are their explosives in the story? At one point they say he's going to go to Antigua and do what? Anybody know what they said he was going to do in Antigua? Huh? That was one part, and what was the other part? He was going to blow up the ambassador's headquarters. Now, there was a big explosion over in Indonesia. What was that? Right, what was the means of production? C4. Now, that's 2 for you. You got 1 more, you're out of here. Right after he got arrested, C4 went off. Now, you may think it's unrelated. But if you got you some good C4 over here, you can ship it anywhere in the world. Somebody would know how to use it. Blew up all them Australians and shit and a few Americans. Over that go-go bar over there. Yes, brother. I'm sorry, baby.
European countries don't want to make Bush because the Australian got you, French got you, Venezuelan, and I think the other the Russians, they had terrorists, they had fear. And that all happened because they wanted to get Bush initially. And it all after that happened, all got burned.
And what in Russia, what was the means, what was the mode of operation? To bust in on the terrorists. What was in the gas? Dope. Opium. They put some mystical opium shit in the gas, knocked everybody's ass out. Now, where are they producing this dope? Oh, all over is the answer. All over. Enabling drug. Go back to the movie, what's the movie with the brother who did the samurai thing? Jason Robards. The brother was playing the Colin Powell type personality. I talked about this. This was the invasion of the American cities. And it said as the tanks came down that America was being reduced by disabling gas. And they had the urban tanks coming in. It was a made-for-TV movie on HBO. What's the brother's name? Forrest Whitaker. There we go. And he played a Colin Powell type guy. Jason Robards was the military guy. It was like a remake of 4 Days in May. Excuse me. Anybody know the name of that? Anybody remember the name of that? Anyway, it's an important movie about urban takeover. How's it, brother? I appreciate you, brother. I knew you when you was poor, wore raggedy clothes and stuff. You got beautiful clothes with pleats and shit and shoes and all these chopped like carrots and stuff, man. I knew you when you was poor. Oh, come on, man. Got to have a fresh, brand new VCR just sitting over there. But it was sitting right over there. For real. See, boy, look at him, Roy. I knew we didn't have no money in his pocket, right? Okay, got the thing is on the screen, which is a good thing. That's you know, in case you won't know what they're really saying, you know, put that little CC thing on their closed caption so you can see the words and hear them at the same time. Every TV got that. Imagine your TV will run the words on it if you just punch the button. Now, how is TV so smart that they can translate the words the instant they say it? How could that happen? No, put it back on there.
Another myth is that
Okay.
Skull and Bones must leave the room immediately if an outsider
See, she's talking about what ain't true about Skull and Bones.
This rumor called reporters on the 1988 campaign trail of George Bush to wonder somewhat giddily whether what would happen if at a press conference.
Now, you know if she was revealing some shit about Skull and Bones, they would kick her ass.
From behind the
Right? She was really putting something out there. Everything she put in her book is everything you ever heard about Skull and Bones ain't true. I'm in Scroll and Key, which is right down the street. She said it ain't shit to Skull and Bones, all that's just myth. Then she talked about some dumb shit happened 150, 200 years ago.
Whether the Bonesmen were in league with Hitler, whether they played any part in choreographing the Bay of Pigs invasion, and whether they really do have any relationship to a secret world government. But in any case, the public's constant shifting between reality and myth is really how Skull and Bones retains its mystique, even now, even in 21st century America. In Secrets of a Tomb, my aim was to illustrate the truth behind the secret society. And
Now, if it's secret, what is one thing who ain't in it gonna know? What's one thing that a person who ain't in it gonna know?
Skull and Bones legend projects.
They ain't gonna know the secret. Because what? They ain't in it. Because if I whisper something in Brother Khalil's ear, I don't care how good your hearing is, you ain't gonna hear it. And all you can ever say is what you thought I said. You can clear my I might say, make a funny laugh. You go, Now I said, what did I tell him?
Myriad assumptions of
Somebody
connection
think, well, you told them,
and a coincidence that surely cannot be
Anyway,
a coincidence.
let's please her a minute.
Thank you very much for coming.
Yeah, get your ass off. Yeah. Uh-oh, look out. No, what?
Usually there are questions
Man.
after I'm finished. I'm happy to answer them.
Yeah, you just pause your ass right there. Trailer trash. Okay, the lady says, Rifle Muhammad explained that he was working for a secret special forces group to recover missing C4 stolen from a military base by drug smugglers. Muhammad was accompanied by a teenage boy named Lee. Quote, Lee's not my son, Muhammad explained. He's on the special team with me. He was hired to blend in with juveniles on the street. See that boy? He's highly trained, end of quote. She asked, well, why didn't he work through the local law enforcement? Quote, he told me he couldn't do that because nobody knew the secret team even existed. Now, I got 8 million papers from the country and the world on the sniper thing. I think I got from a hard copy and internet every single damn article come out on a sniper in this country. Shit's damn near half up the wall. Not but one article mentions shit about no special forces team. Just one article. Now, who owned Newsweek? Who owned Newsweek? So you gotta take the cap off. There we go. Who owned Newsweek? Come on now, I got time on Newsweek. What other publication does the owners of Newsweek own? You might have heard of the Washington Post. Now come on now, the Washington Post brought Richard Nixon down. You gotta know who the instruments are. How a reporter gonna bring down a government? They would have fucked them reporters up if they wasn't in on that. They're going to bring the Washington Post, quote, got a secret source. Ain't no such thing as a secret source in the white world. If them monkeys wanted to know who Deep Throat was, Alexander Haig, they would have drug his ass out in the public. I can tell you, you'd be looking at me 100 years from now, you're going to say Alexander Haig. It was like, oh, Clee told me that years ago. Alexander Haig got a TV show on Howard Television every Friday night on the business world. Now I see it shows up in every major city on public broadcasting. Alexander Haig gas, killing ass Alexander Haig is on television all over the fucking world, mainly on Howard TV in DC, where he shoot his show at. So he says that the boy is highly trained. He was chosen to blend in with the juveniles. Where else these boys been? Now they had him in Alabama killing somebody with a rifle. Then when they caught him, they said, well, actually it wasn't a rifle, it was a handgun. Then they said, well, fuck it, it was a rifle and a handgun. Right? Then the one policeman who was chasing the boy said, I was chasing the boy, but he got away. Then later on they said, no, I was chasing the man and he got away. If you were taking the time to watch, all you'd find is they had every angle to the story was said into the public. Every possibility was said. None of it had to be true. It only had to be said. They take the thermometer of the people, they just change the story in front of everybody, and without the thermometer, nobody had enough sense to go back and say, well, hold on, I could have swore. They just told me. They said it was a damn handgun. Then it was the credit card. They had the stolen credit card. They said, oh, no, it wasn't a stolen credit card at all. The people in Alabama. Yes, sister. Let's go back. Good point. How about that white van shit? I'm going to tell you, there are 59,000 white vans or little Uzi-looking trucks running around, and anybody in D.C. who was driving one of them will tell you they caught pure hell doing the sniper thing. Now, they shot a brother. Brother Khalil, you come to my house. Right there at Georgia Avenue, where D.C. goes into Maryland, is Eastern Avenue, right on that angle. Right there at that corner, they shot a Haitian brother. Shot him down right there in Georgia Avenue, 9:20 at night. 5 people said Chevy Caprice. They went in there trying to get the money. They wanted the reward. I was trying to catch his ass to get that $500,000. I thought I almost had him and shit. 5 people said Chevy Capri. They walked in. Hunky said, nah, we ain't looking for that. We looking for white van. You have never heard yet who the fuck gave the white van profile that made everybody look at the wrong car until they were through with it. See, they let it go till they were through with it. How about the black man say, I saw him? And actually gave a description of just how they looked. But the hunky said, you locked his ass up for phony lying to the police. And his description was actually correct. If that's so, and we believe that's true. Olive, tan-colored person. I believe he knew who they were. Knew them well enough to be at the store, to go in, not to be in the shooting, but to come back out and say, hey, I got him. I know who did it. And I always say this. If you really wanted to pull it off, all you had to do All you had to do was just pay somebody off, the 10 million they asked, and go pick up these two patches. And that's a guy I know, CIA dude, worked for the post office in D.C. He don't work for, quote, delivering mail. This boy, he's an Indian boy. Every other weekend, he leave the country and shit. And I went to see him with a couple of my friends. I said, hey, let's go talk to the Indian boy about what happened with the sniper. The day I met with him, he said, well, right now, we're out looking for Apache. Skull and Bones didn't come to the election. I'm just looking for another blank tape, a long one. I got one. I got one. I just want to use a 90 instead of a 60. Not that I'm going to be here that long. Just kidding. All right. Let's see. Brother, would you label this tape for me? Tape 1. All right. I still need yours, too, just to back up mine. All right. So, the sniper boys, they're doing real good. Don't nobody know who they are. Ain't nobody got no suspect. They got the white van. Everybody looking for a white van. I got on my phone before it went out. I got about 800 white van sightings where people was calling. I seen him do it, white van almost hit me with the thing. Going through the alley, I just knew it was him. It was a sniper. Boom, 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 boom. Well, when it all came down, they found out who they were. There's one lady working at the Silver Spring YMCA. And she said at the YMCA, Brother Khalil, she said, imagine, I took my daughter out of school because I feared for the sniper. And then I look up and the sniper's at my job working out at the YMCA. Every day they went to the Y for showers and to watch the CNN while they was in the weight room. So she's going, I ran from the sniper. He was at my job. Sister eyes got big and shit. She made it look real interesting. Yeah, bro. Anybody ever heard of a book called Operation Mind Control? Anybody got a copy of that book by William Beauwart? Look, write it down. I want you to look for this book. B-O-W-A-R-T. William Beauwart. Operation Mind Control. About the training and the grooming of a person to prepare them to be an assassin. I believe there's stables full of these people. That's why now they was messing with that Nation of Islam shit, but all that dropped and went away. Because I think it's something all of them know about, something don't nobody want to crack it open. Operation Mind Control by William Beauwart, B-O-W-A-R-T. It's an expert analysis at the use of mind control and hypnotism. See, you do this shit and you say mumbo jumbo, hocus pocus, and all of a sudden the people who was all secret got to call somebody and tell them they did it. See, that's erratic behavior. You sticking a thermometer up them and everybody's normal, and all of a sudden they got a temperature of 132. You say, well, hold on, how did it get to 120? Even up to 125? How come you couldn't pick that up, that tendency to want to squeal on yourself? Now, another thing, they asked them to send how much to send to a account? 10 million. And what were they going to use to use the money? How was they going to use the money? Oh, right, a credit card. Oh, you're redeeming yourself. Credit card. Does anybody know what was unique about the credit card that these two guys were using? Stolen. Very good. Oh, dude, you redeemed it too. Okay, what was unique about it being stolen?
The person was dead.
No, the person was still living. No, the person was still living. Believe me, the person's still living. But it was a woman's credit card. Now, what are two guys going to do running around the country with a stolen Greyhound bus driver woman's credit card, getting 10 million out, 10 or 20 at a time? See, that shit don't make no sense. They were all right until the money game came in. Soon as money came in, all of a sudden shit got all weird. In fact, the money thing allowed them for, quote, potential federal charges. But the feds got scared and dropped it. Because the Lord Public Defender said, if they're going to run the federal charges on my man, they got to prove he was in the extortion. So the feds dropped that shit and sent it to Virginia. Now, what is it about Virginia they like the most? They will fry your ass in a minute. Who I said this earlier, what's unique about what's going on in Virginia is that the two cases that they're prosecuting are the white man being killed at the gas station, then they killed Bridges, then they killed the white woman FBI. They're going to raise up the white woman FBI, raise up the white boy at the gas station, and they left Bridges out to prosecution. Now, people who are in my time will tell you that it's something unique about why he was even at that gas station. Brother, you know any other story? Why was Ken Bridges at that gas station? Huh? Yeah, let's get the mic in the back. Anybody got the mic? There we go. Okay. The mic gotta go on here. Okay, hold on. He's gonna turn it on so everybody can hear you. Okay, try it now.
He was basically putting together a deal with some people from Grenada, some black farmers in Grenada.
Okay, that was about the nutmeg. But okay, but what was happening? He was going from where to where, and then what happened?
He was going from Virginia back to Philadelphia.
And then what happened?
Then he stopped to get some gas.
No, somebody called him and changed where he was going, and then he stopped and got some gas. Come on, brother. Come on.
Yeah. Okay, that was Ken Bridges was my father, and
Yes,
he was going.
Listen up.
On Thursday, he was coming back home on Thursday, the day before coming back, and he was called back to Virginia on Thursday because some other members of my side, some other board members, and some people he was trying to do a deal with were coming back to Virginia. So he turned around and went back to Virginia when he was supposed to be coming home actually on Thursday, and he didn't end up coming home till that Friday morning.
Right. And now, that's a good point. Now, let's try this. Okay. Somebody else in there? All right, what's that? Okay, gotta leave the mic on. Okay. Okay, sister. Let's try this. See, I'm not still comfortable with them telling all of us that these were very well-planned things. In fact, in one case, in several cases, they said that the people who were being shot were being trailed or followed. Right? And in all of this stack of everything I was able to pull together, in all of that pile, when it got right down to it, where the feds and the Virginia people, I felt, feel real uncomfortable about wanting to try the Bridges case. Because they went to the two other people. Now, why, if in Virginia you could prime real fast, do they not want to prosecute your father's killing? Have a feeling about that? Okay, I know it's difficult. Two, I was not comfortable with a comment that was made by one of the living members that Mr. Bridges' death was in fact a boost to the structure. In fact, a line was said, it was kind of like, it's not this was one of the best things ever to happen, but it was the sort of comment like, and it came from Wellington and Klingman. I know Klingman well. I don't know Wellington. I asked on a recent, in fact, I'm going to give you this tape. I asked on a recent radio show, because Klingman and Wellington were going to be in LA on the Saturday that I gave this tape on the KJLA. And I'm going to put a way for you to reach me on there. And I was not comfortable with a line in Klingman's column, which is nationally syndicated. He's from Cincinnati. He got ran out of the African American Chamber of Commerce by Procter & Gamble. I have a radio show in Cincinnati every Friday, and we pride ourselves in beating on them monkeys in Cincinnati. And I like Jim Klingman. I don't know Wellington at all. And I was in Atlanta on the day of the shooting. Brother Akhenaten made the announcement at the conference we were at there in Atlanta that the brother had been shot. They ran upstairs to get back to the television and watch everything the best I could. And I wasn't comfortable with the lines that this was a good publicity. I don't find anything good about a murder. I don't find any product worth anybody's life. I don't find compatibility in that. At one point I know, and I did review a tape that Wellington made on KJOT, he said affirmatively in the public that he knew it was just at random. Well, without the shooters, without any computation or any idea, it's real kind of quick to say, quote, I know it was at random. because it's no computation. That's a difficult thing for you to know, and everybody else don't know nothing. And I was not comfortable with that. It's not that anybody did anything. It's just I'm not comfortable with us without our own team of investigators. I would prefer to see us go back and go out and go in and around any and everything that was relevant to that so that we are satisfied, because there's nothing they could do at any time, anywhere, before any court that would satisfy me that an important man is your father. Out of all the people killed. Now that FBI woman who was into cyber terrorism, who a couple of days after she died, there was a massive computer surge that went on. At the major computer, and you all know anything about computers, there was this huge, what they call it, over-request thing, where you put in all these requests at once and you jam up the system. A couple of days after she died, and y'all know anything about that, computers and all of that? That cyber thing? Okay, I'll throw that to the side. But I'm not comfortable with that at randomness. You know, our best person at buying and selling, our independent black network. I'm not comfortable with two guys shooting a black guy, quote, mad at the white system. That don't match to me. And the fact that the whites would not follow through on it. Now, the police chief in D.C., Ramsey, who's a black man from Chicago, didn't come to the big press conference where they announced who they were going to prosecute, because they weren't going to prosecute the brother Haitian who was shot on George Avenue that I mentioned to you, who was big in the Haitian community. Yeah, found a little Haitian community, big church. Oh, I'm not comfortable with that. That doesn't sound that random to me. How come they didn't shoot nobody with no job? That area is a rough area for black people. See, and I was wondering for a while if the sniper only shot if a white van or something got an intersection. Because there was always somebody to say, I saw the white van, white truck moving to right over there. It was always that right afterwards. And that just didn't add up either. Since we know that was all false. Was there a time and a moment till the job got done and then they're going to ring them in? Decode the mental program to make them confess. Then all of a sudden everybody walk away and say, oh shit, that's the end of everything. And everybody's walking. I'm not comfortable with that. And I will provide for you a couple of things that I have to just throw into the till. I just left Atlanta. And Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Thursday night, got home Friday, and I was there with Brother Calfani, who is Brother Khaled's son. When Brother Khaled first died, everybody didn't want to get into nothing because there's a lot you going through. Now, a year and a half later, family want to do wrongful death suit because they're a little suspicious about everything. But it takes that long, it takes time to get it off of you because there's many things, even the truth won't bring them back. And that's a difficult thing to have to deal with in the midst of all of us. But it represents so much to us if we don't have some quote, defense system in place, we will guarantee what? It'll happen again. And we can't take no more. We can't afford any more. Yes, sister. Yes, brother.
Excuse me, Steve, but as far as sniping.
As far as what?
Sniping goes.
Okay.
A sniper. Every sniper that I know shoots up high. Are there any high points in that area that's above the general population? Because if you're level to the ground, I mean, somebody could get in the way if you 500 to 900 yards away.
What? Laying in a trunk.
Exactly.
Through a hole in the trunk.
Exactly. So, and then in the back of a trunk, so they would have to be up high, you know, like,
in fact, let me do it this. USA Today did a shooting range possibility. They took, to hit somebody at 500 feet, what would you have to do? Wind velocity, temperature, weather conditions, right. You literally at 500 feet, you gotta go up and down. If the wind is blowing 10 miles an hour this way, you gotta shoot way over here to blow the bullet back, right? So all that science in the shooting of one, and you get one shot.
Exactly.
Right? Sniper never shoots twice because the second shot reveals your position. One time only. Now, they had them shooting. They didn't shoot from the trunk when they shot the brother bus driver, the last one, because they say they shot him through the bushes. And in Virginia, though you've never seen who or what that person was in Virginia that was shot near Richmond, That was a shot through the bushes, right? The second shooter on Brother Khaled, you remember that video where Khaled went out the front? He was shot by James Edward Best and others in the front. But what happened when we went in the back? At Riverside, there was a thick brush, 10 feet tall. Here was a fence, public housing outside the university. 10-foot fence, barbed wire, 10-foot high brush, 10-foot deep. There was a nice hole cut right in the bushes where the person had put a nest. Though that person didn't get to do it because Khaled changed the program and didn't go out the back, he went out the front. But Brother Jamal and Brother Keaty went back there with the camera and went all up in there, all up in that area, right to the fence, the metal fence that had a hole cut in it, so that person can get out. Now that MO with the bushes and the rest sound a lot like all the rest of this. That's why I'm a little interested in whether or not we'll find James Edward Best and this so-called John Williams, whatever, in the shooting at Riverside. Whether we see him in the crowd, in the protests, in the aftermath of the moving around. Yes, brother, quick. Mike?
I was saying that every situation that they had with Sniper and someone who hold people hostage or murder, they had them inside of a building. Being that they didn't have this person inside of the building, they were at the mercy of the terrorist or the person who was holding them for ransom, holding the states for ransom. So here it was coming up around election time. They want to be reelected. They say, pay the man and we'll arrest a patsy. Mm-hmm. And so I think the terrorist is spending the money somewhere else and they are selling to the people that this is the terrorist and you accept it.
Do anybody remember how many bullets they found on him when they caught him? Because it would have been real hard to go out and buy a 223 bullet at that time. Anybody know how many bullets they found on him when they caught him? One. Now, does that mean there was only one more person that they could have done? Because they only had one bullet in the car. One bullet. Now, that whole ballistics thing, you remember all that? We'd imagine the shootings with the riflings on the bullet fingerprints and all of that. Well, when it came to the Kennedy thing, and it came to the King thing, they wouldn't do none of that. They didn't want to go with none of that. They don't even want to go back and go through none of that. But they went through all of that to establish that, quote, these two guys did it all. And I'm not comfortable with that. And that's why that special forces, the C4, that weird shit in the Tacoma, that penetrating the Nation of Islam in Tacoma, Washington, going away for 2 years and showing backup. What did he do in the 2 years he was gone? He was in the Oregon National Guard. Then he allegedly marries a sister in the nation who's actually in Washington, D.C. right now. She gave this big interview in the Washington Post. What else does the Washington Post own? Newsweek. Do you know how many television stations Newsweek, Washington Post own? 12. Houston, Dallas, Cincinnati, all around the country they have television stations that go with their Newsweek and their Washington Post. Anybody know the name of the family? The woman just recently died that owns all of that. She has a book out now about how much she loved Washington. The movie with Lee Grant, what was that? Lou Grant, typified her relationship. It was, forget the name of that TV show, but Katharine Graham was her name. Trilateral Commissioner. How many of y'all ever heard of Global 2000 report with Jimmy Carter and all of that? Well, she was on one of the 15 board of directors members of the Global 2000 that was done in '79 about reducing world population, done through the United Nations. Olof Palme was the head of that. He was murdered in Sweden. He was the president of Sweden. He was gunned down in Sweden. Okay. Sister, is there anything you would like us to do? Or is there anything you would like to say to us in any way that we could be of some help? Okay, no problem. No problem. Okay. No, you have to push the mic back. Okay. Now, in the process of mind control, in the process of brainwashing, Now, you know what they did with the boys. When they moved them from federal custody, where they both had public defenders, they then moved them into Virginia custody, and supposedly between the time they moved them, see, if you got a federal public defender and you move them to a state, they can no longer represent them. So when they asked the boy Muhammad, do you have counsel? He said, yeah, I thought I did already. They said, well, no, we got to get you some new people because we just moved you. Right? We didn't like who you had, so we pushed you to someplace else. And what we need now is some black lawyers to volunteer to represent him. You see, you can get cut in on the information if you step up and say, I want to volunteer to represent this man. Because see, the way it stands now is all hunkies in the operation. Ain't nobody black in the whole thing but the two victims. Everybody else. Now, who did they just execute in Virginia? The dude that went, now CIA is in a big wooded area. It's all a Pakistani. Right. When they asked Bush who was head of a certain country, what country did he not know the head of? Pakistan. Now all this before he running for office, he don't know who run Pakistan, Afghanistan. Pakistan got a bomb, they playing with India. He don't know who run none of that, and it just turns out that ends up his high priority area. Now, if you notice, he blew up that car on the Sunday before the election. They blew up the, quote, Al-Qaeda car so that on Monday, every newspaper in the country had that photo of that blown up car. And what did they find in the blown up car? A passport, wasn't even damaged. Say, yeah, we know that's the guy we was looking for. Look, there's his passport right there. When the boy flew the airplane into the Bank of America in Tampa, flew right over the main control center that run the Afghan war, he ran his plane into the 23rd floor of Bank of America, everything burned up but his confession note. Say, yeah, I did it, I love Al-Qaeda, all of that shit. Now you got these two suspected men leaving all of their confession on a laptop. We ain't seen shit. Now I said earlier, if the laptop didn't belong to them, the person who had the passcode could block them out of even using it. Now, this is when you know it's CIA to always leave a note. Now this is modern day, you don't leave a note, you gotta leave an email. Right, this is some modern shit. I leave email confession. So they got no fingerprints on the laptop, but they got a confession inside of it for a laptop they don't even have the code for. They stole it off a man at a liquor store. Say, yeah, that's my laptop. They ain't been big to try to get into this, because in the rush to throw all this shit on them, they just say, yeah, all confession on the laptop. But why would you be going around shooting somebody, typing it into a damn laptop? It don't make no damn sense at all. You're going to ask for $10 million on a living woman's Greyhound bus credit card. They ain't never figured out how the credit card got stolen, because the two boys have never been alleged to ride a Greyhound. How did they get the stolen credit card? Pardon me? They didn't have shit but the card. They want them to put the $10 million, and they said, so that we can go to the ATM and use it from time to time. And what's at every ATM? A camera. That don't make no damn sense at all. Now the wife, the former wife who's in the nation, said that John wasn't the same when he came back from the Persian Gulf War. What did they do to John? They did what? They did what? They cloned him. No, not quite, not quite. Was he what? Not quite. What did they do to him in the Persian Gulf War? They did something to him that supposedly built up his anger. Sexual, probably all of that. But what they did was they had a test of a nerve gas that was exploded at an officer's quarters, and everybody ran and threw their mask on. They grabbed him as the alleged nerve gas breaker opener that he has busted the canister, gagged him behind his legs, arms behind his back, and left him in the sand in the midst of the chemical while everybody ran away. And when they finished all that, they said, oh, sorry, John, it was just a test. And humiliated him. And the wife said, when he came back, what's up, baby? How's the brother? All right, everything after the war, be peace. All right. And so as a result of that, he was, quote, pissed off at America. Now, he gets back here. Now, white folks is real clever. They love to say he was dishonorably discharged. But he wasn't. He was honorably discharged. But not one time, anywhere where you see it say honorable discharge, it just says discharge. Very important, and when you muddying somebody up. Yes, brother. No, brother Henry. Henry gone? He's still here? You think he left? Okay.
Yes.
All right. Yes, brother, go ahead.
Okay, the life that you're leading, which I praise it, I think is a proper direction, but also a possible scary direction. Like Malcolm.
One of y'all. No, just. Okay, oh, here we go. Okay, now. Bring it. All right, okay, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, I'll question it. The life that you live and what you're doing, basically publicizing possible conspiracies or actual conspiracies of the government. People who came before you, like Marcus Garvey and Malcolm X, who I think did similar things to what you're presently doing, and also Huey B. Newton. Have you had any threats from the government, or do you think the government knows who you are? Because the things that you are doing, I find it, I like it, I love it, but I think maybe that the higher echelon of our country, the president, the executive branch, do you think they know who you are, and do you think they know what you're doing?
Okay, that's a good question. But let me put it in context. Okay, now don't y'all tell nobody this, right? Y'all ready? Y'all ready? All right. Now, the way it works is like this. Do I have anything to fear from you in terms of hurting me?
You have nothing to fear from me.
Then I got the rest of them covered. All right. Then as far as the government goes, I put it like this. I'll give you a little peep in on my shit. The other day, the 202-882-0405 line went off in our house. This is a phone on the B service. Now, I'm in that place because earlier I was talking about somebody trying to kill me with a lethal needle, and where I live was in that person's name. With 2 weeks, I received a notice to move. This is January of this year. And in that process, I moved in with the brother Eric Teray Muhammad, who was here. 303-301-608-3105 line that I had for 12 years. The person with the lethal needle put $1,700 in phony credit card calls on the line, so I had to shut it off. Just last week, the phone company removed the $1,700. Been on that 4.5 months. But they know, what they kept saying, well, if you pay the $1,700 and it's not yours, we'll give it back to you later. No, I won't be giving no damn Verizon no $1,700 to pay me back later. But I understand what it would mean to cut it down, right? So now put up SteveCoakley.com, SteveCoakley.net.org. I also have TruthInMusic.com, org, net, US, I had all 10 domain names. And y'all know I don't even fuck with them computers. But I got it because I'm getting ready to do something. I'm gonna need them websites to post up the Coakley report. So it may be we have teleconferences instead of at the bookstore conferences for those who got them, or someplace you could go to see one of them while we put all of this stuff in another vehicle, so that can't nobody pull you off of the road and hold your car up until after the lecture over, hold you in the detaining cell until after you miss your flight. All of those little things that go in the process. Now, do I think that the government know me? Well, when I look at this little phony story they did on the Boulay in Savoy, and everybody know I be busting on the secret societies. We got the story just appeared in the Savoy magazine, Big Baby Blue. There's a story right at the top. Can you see this going right across? I'm going to show it to you all in a second. It's right across this top here. There's a story that says Blue-Blooded Brothers inside the Boulay. Story, they quote a guy who's in something that's Baby Boulay as the quote critic to it, Jovan Butler. Now today, Jovan Butler spoke in Albany, New York, where I just left last Monday night with Leonard Jeffries. He's giving a lecture on skull and bones and secret societies, and when I was in Pittsburgh, we went to Bennigan's to eat. When he reached for his beer, and a big old A on his arm showed up for Alpha. And I told him that if you're going to talk about what the Boule is doing, you got to reveal what you're in, so that I don't end up thinking that, because see what happens is the Alphas are primarily responsible for trying to be the ones to explain all of the things that's going on in secret societies. Blue blood brothers. Now what blue blood does a black man have? To have this story in Savoy. Did anybody know what Savoy was before it was Savoy? Boy, y'all scared me. Y'all ever heard of Emerge? Well, they dropped Emerge because they thought it was too aggressive, and it was moderately aggressive. George Curry was the editor of Emerge. He put a big full-page picture of Khalid Muhammad in it, with all that crowd from the million you brought to New York across a double page. Next thing you know, they dropped Emerge and came back with Savoy. Now, let me show you something else made me think about it. Now, let's go back. This is a sidebar. Do you think a black person run around dropping tarot cards? This some shit military does. It's a U.S. Army Special Forces team that drops tarot cards at murders. They did it as far back as Vietnam. All right? You with me there? Let's go to Savoy magazine, the issue before this one. On page 37, there was a story about a picture of a person who was a suspect in a child abduction case in L.A. This suspect in the child abduction case in L.A. was issued a profile. The profile of the suspect in the rape case in L.A., rape abduction case, was a picture of somebody. I'm going to show you the picture. Here we go. This is Savoy magazine the week before with blonde-haired. You can see why they need help. Daddy Williams is trying to get Leonard Jeffries and Steve Copley and other people to help his daughters. Because now that they got more millions than they'll ever spend, they're starting to develop tendencies that act European. And if the daddy had been a European, the girls would be playing girl tennis and would have been worn out and wouldn't whoop no women tennis. He bypassed girl tennis and my girls ain't gonna play with girls. My girls will be women, white women. Now they beat all the white women. If it ain't one, it's the other. Right? But now Daddy Williams getting a little worried because the daughters is blonde and doing stuff, you know? Now, Tiger Woods, the Williams, any of them is liable to have a plane crash, die from overeating, choked on a piece of ham. Anything is liable to happen. But in this, hey, we got to get into the whole artist, the killing of the New Yorker and then the promoter after that, bringing back up the Tupac Biggie thing. They're setting up a psychology that would make the death of a black person called, quote, you know that same old shit. That's why I ain't crawling for none of that at random shit. Now, check this out. Now, watch me now. This is the Savoy magazine the week before the Boule story. I'll get to that, which quotes the popular conspiracy theory on the Boule is that they are part of the Rhodes Rothschild secret society. Ain't but one nigga in America saying that. That's me, but they can't say my name. They say Jovan Butler, the conspiracy theorist who got Ghetto Times is on the case. But he an alpha. So that's how well they know me. They know me well enough not to quote me. Here's Savoy magazine the week before that. This is the picture of the suspect in the child abduction case in L.A. I'm going to walk this around the black person. Let me show it to the camera. Now, y'all know this video will be available here. But make sure that brother can make that available. And here, oh, bro, you never did tell me. You were supposed to say something in my ear. We'll get to it. Here we go. This is the picture. In fact, they call it the Willie Horton School of Profiling. Is what the caption says. Right? Willie Horton learned to draw imaginary black suspects. But as you can see, the person who was listed as a suspect in the child abduction case in L.A. is of John Williams. Look at the picture.
This was before he was even a suspect in the shooting of the so-called people. Now, the person who was convicted of this abduction and confessed was a white person. But the feds were dropping that picture in the public long before he was a suspect in the murders as the child abductor in California. He didn't do that, but that's his picture. That's John Williams' picture right there, I'm telling y'all. That's his caricature. How did the feds know to drop the picture? But the feds, quote, don't know shit about it. No bill of sales on the gun. See, you can go all the way back, sister, to this point. The simple allegation of you can sue the seller of the gun who ain't got no bill of sale to the, quote, John Muhammad person. No bill of sale. You start there with, if you hadn't sold him the gun because he didn't qualify to have it, if you start there, all hell will break loose. Because the whites don't want anybody to know about the gun shop that feeds the guns to the professional American killers. And since that's their black hole, where shit just disappears, the man is not convicted or even up for charges, though that was his third violation of not having paperwork on a gun sale. It's illegal to not have paperwork on a gun sale. Anybody know how much the gun costs? $800. How a homeless man living in a shelter gonna buy an $800 gun and then resell his old gun back for $650? No paperwork. If you start there and allege that the gun seller, if he hadn't sold the gun, then those people would not have died. I don't care what you ask for, they will pay it because they don't want nobody going in that hole. I know where the spot is. And it would be real. How come ain't nobody out of all the cases filed one wrongful death suit on anybody, on anything? Why is everybody sitting back waiting on the feds to do everything? And you dropping dimes like this before you got suspects. I'll say it again. Where that gun came from and that gun dealer, who's a U.S. sniper, that's a military base where he's at. If you start there and say, if only he hadn't sold that gun, my people still be alive, they will pay whatever you ask, because they don't want to go in that hole. All right? Okay, that was just a little sidebar to the sidebar of, do the white folk know me? You better believe it. And do they hope? Now, you all remember how long I've been trying to do this Philly thing. We had Brother Juan. Anybody remember Brother Juan? Brother Juan used to reach in his pocket and pay $500 for me to come to Philadelphia. He never asked anybody to pay anything to come to the lecture. I'd sell the tapes, pass a hat, but out of his pocket, Juan would pay $500 for me to come to Philly to try to share the information. He was a bus driver. After being raped and robbed by Dale and Deke Jones, who took $6,500 out of pot, gave me $500 and called it a fair deal, having made a false promise, and the little pirate named Oglesby, who I saw down in Atlanta, who used to work for Governor Thornburg of Pennsylvania, right? The other crew is in the Masonic connection, who will stand up and in a minute and tell you how bad they hate me. But they hate me worse than any of the white people that are exploiting the people in Philadelphia. But what happened to Juan? Juan loses his edge and poof, goes out, trips out, loses his mind. And I don't end up in Philly until Brother Khalil says, I'll bring you to Philly. He brings me to his mother's YMCA, right across the street from where they founded the Boule. Right, and then she got thrown out of her job. We are rallying right here on a Sunday about community control to defend his mama who was attacked by the YMCA. She told this little story. She said, when I got to the Y, I asked her, why was there holes in the floor? Why was the windows broke? Why was this shit all messed up? And the wise woman said, because if we ever fix it up, they'll take it from us. And she fixed it up. And what did they do? They took it from her. All right. Do they know? I know they know. Yeah, I think they know a little bit about it. I'm in Atlanta on Monday. I'm in the brand new Castleberry Hotel built by Harvey Russell, former Grand Sire Archon of the Black Secret Society, the Boule. See, when I look to the Black Secret Society Boule of niggas who in on the buck and dance, I don't see no Kim Bridges' name. Ain't no Ken Bridges on the lap dance song with the hunkies. He ain't in that. So without being in that, what happens in business is scary business. Harvey Russell can redo all Atlanta. Ain't nothing gonna happen to him. And then right in the middle of the hotel, they got a circle up in a circle right in the center. And every time they hand you the brochure, they show you the hotel around the circle and the circle. And every time somebody called my room, I had 72 calls after I walked out that lecture. I got no messages. My phone was ringing in the management office. They were so happy to get all my calls, they gave me all my money back. I didn't pay shit for the hotel. I was there 4 days. But to get my calls, it was worth 4 days in the hotel. You tell me a hunky ain't got 4 days worth of hotel money? $75 a day there, they give me $1 million to keep all them calls all bottled up. Such that everything I tried to do after I walked out of Atlanta, while I was setting up all these meetings, I'm paying to stay over to set up meetings so we can build this force in Atlanta. Where you got Spelman Rockefeller, Rockefeller Morehouse, Rockefeller Clark, Atlanta U. They're trying to shut down Morris Brown, which is more of a regular people's school. And all my calls, 72 men, the guy wipes them. He said, man, I wiped your messages away. I said, brother, let me hear them. He said, I wiped them away. So now your folks, on the 4th day, my phone rang right in the room, the day I'm leaving. So I think they know a little something. Yes, brother, I'm listening. You did what now?
I see the brother every now and then. And he, you know, when you talk to him, the only thing that snaps him back is information. He's kind of paranoid to come out, but something, I mean, he aged like you wouldn't believe me. Gray beard, really aged a lot.
He said it was witches and warlocks chasing him and devils.
Exactly. But I think, you know, somebody got to him because the time that he brought you in at the Y, you know, he broke up with his sister.
Right.
And she came, remember he left?
Right.
His sister came there. So it was some funny things going on to destabilize him. And that's why I want to say to us, we got to be careful about how we do stuff. Because we saw the thing happen with Khalid. They put out he was a spy and anybody got around him. And when we start seeing isolation moves done, we got to surround those people who fight for us and don't let them get hit.
Oh, they do it all the time. But when I leave today, they gonna say, don't believe that Coakley. He ain't even got 9 teeth in his mouth.
Okay. Talking about you being on drugs and...
Oh, yeah. In fact, I had to address somebody who was right here earlier for being in Tallahassee saying that Coakley ain't got no teeth, he on crack cocaine.
You said you was on acid, brother.
Oh, no, when my little friends in Tallahassee jumped him because he didn't know who Coakleyites were, you can look around and not know who no Coakleyite is. There's a difference between black and black acting people. So we're specialized in black acting people who might not look as black looking people. There are 2 kinds of people, black looking people and black acting people. See, at the time there was people in the Panthers who were black acting people. I mean, it's like black looking people wasn't black acting people. So I had to step to the person who was here earlier. And so I said, well, let me get your source. Let me get you, because if there was one person in God's earth that could stand and say, I saw Coakley do any of that, then I would exalt him up. He said, well, you know, how's that? All right. Okay. Right. So they were here earlier, and I had to tell the brother who owns this place what professional it would take for me to deal with somebody who would do who got busted like that. Because see, I told you, only a friend can do certain shit. So you don't have no friends. You're looking at what they do. You don't give a fuck of who they are. I wouldn't care if you was my mama if you said something crazy. And so I know I brought my mama to the lecture before she died. Sister looked out for my mama that day in the Y. Because I brought my mama up here just so we could get up here that day. But the bottom line is, that's all a part of it. So when it came to be interviewing me, there was someone else who would ask the question. Because the other person was the person spreading the rumor. Now, who was that?
Juan.
No, I take the Juan part. No, it was somebody else who was here today.
Oh, I don't know.
All right, that was Henry. Yeah. All right. No. We're past that. Because as I was telling Brother Ahmed, I would do the interview with the sister because I want certain things in the paper. I want certain things in that tape. And that I wanted those more than I wanted revenge against the people who had worked against me who got busted. Yes, sir. Okay. No. You're all right. You ain't got nothing to do with this. You're innocent in what I'm talking about. Okay. Well, whatever. Y'all work that out. That ain't got nothing to do with me. I'm just trying to see if you heard what I said. Did you hear what I said? What did I say? You heard what he said. Right. Now, the best thing to do was say, you know, I heard Coakley sew up that goddamn picture. That was a lie. They don't debate what I say. They debate who I am. See, don't believe him because of some other shit. If I was a fucking dope-head cunt hound and I flipped all around, but I said some 10 things out of 10 that was true, you take the 10 truths and move on fast, because it ain't me, it worked through me. Ain't got shit to do with me. And that's part of the process, you know. Anything else to that part? Okay. And as far as Juan, when he started losing it, oh no, I know all of that. I mean, I'm just saying, I separate Juan from someone who's conscious. We agree that what two people saying amongst them two. I can tell you what Deke said, I can tell you what they all said. That don't make no difference. As far as where we're going, that ain't even the problem. The problem is once you leave, certain things start to happen. See, it would be like brother here. He said, well, basic question was, aren't you afraid they'll fuck you up for doing this? They're doing whatever they think. If I put all them teeth back, I made this point about when you hit up this website and you see this contract. When you hit up this website and you see this contract that the Jackson family is offering me, and I'll tell you a little story about something. Michael Jackson goes to see Sharpton in New York. Michael Jackson is mad at Tommy Mottola at Sony. When they get there, they go see Sharpton and Johnny Cochran. Michael stands up and says, that dude, so he racist, he blah, 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 blah. Then the next day, Sharpton came out and he said, well, Tommy Mottola, he's not a bad guy. He's really a good guy. He's good. And I know that was money. Because Russell Simmons called my roommate to say that we paid Sharpton to go back out there and undermine what he did the day before. On that second day, I got a call from Jermaine Jackson. Guy walked up to me in a restaurant. He said, I got Jermaine Jackson on the cell phone. He wants to talk to you. I said, about what? About representing the family versus Sony Music. I ain't an attorney. No, this about like that shit you did at Time Warner. See, at Time Warner, they were $2,000 an hour speaking engagements, and Time Warner got Dick Gregory, Al Sharpton, 15 other people, but they decide that one person they don't want to speak to the Time Warner executives making from $50,000 to $700,000 a year is me. So they singled me out. They decide they replace me with Susan Taylor of Essence. Susan Taylor of Essence got Sharpton on the phone to say, I'm not going to cross you, Coakley, because if they hand me that microphone up there at Rockefeller Center, I'm going to call you up to the mic, because I don't know who you are, and I don't know what you do, but white folk pray to you. Now, check this out. Now, listen. So, and there's an interesting thing. She tells me, she says, well, what do you do? So Sharpton says, he's the boule buster. So she says, show you how you got to have some divine protection. She says, boule, I never heard of that. Would you send me, Steve Coakley, every tape you got on the boule and give me an invoice? Here's the Boule magazine, for example, Boule Journal, the latest one I just stole in Albany. Because all the people running the Africana Studies Department are in the Boule. 9 out of the 10 professors is one female. The 9 men are all Boule people. Albany is the state capital of New York. All the schools surrounding the state capital got dog names. I'm at SUNY at Albany. They're the Dobermans. You go across there at the other school, played Maryland in the final. Schools surrounding the capital got dog names. Now, That's a whole nother thing. We get the symbolism. But the bottom line is this. She said, send me everything you got on the boule, and I'll give me an invoice. That probably wasn't about $3,000 I could have used. But that guy right there, who writes the Boule Journal, that guy right, that's the Boule book. Let me hold him up. Boule article, Boule book. Notice they pumping the blue. When you say Blue Brothers, you doing interesting. They took the little white woman and they put cornrows on her head now. Used to be a white woman on the book. We talked about them so bad, they made it into a sister with cornrows now. And here, on the inside cover, is the editor's comments, the editor's page. For 16 years, this is Susan Taylor's husband, Keffer, who is the editor of the Boule Journal. So while she said she didn't know who I was or what I did, she asked me to send her every Boule tape I had, which would have cost about $3,000, and she would pay for it, and God, I needed that money. But something just wouldn't let me do it. I go to the Boule meeting in Houston, we sneaking in, and there's main speaker, Susan Taylor, with her husband, Keffer, who prints the Boule Journal. In fact, all that shit, all high glossy and shit. You know, Essence got big time high glossy shit. That's one of the best magazines we got. It's a good magazine, but I didn't send that invoice, I didn't send them tapes. So, now, Michael Jackson goes to Sharpton. Sharpton repudiates him and says, I love Tommy Mottola. Tommy Mottola was the husband to Mariah Carey. They paid her $49 million to leave Sony. They got Michael Jackson over here, they want him to pay $50 million to leave. They want him to pay to leave, they paid her to leave. Alright? So, Jackson goes to Sharpton. Next day, Sharpton says, I love Tommy Mottola. I don't know what Michael Jackson's talking about. That same night they call me, California time, Michael goes back there on the third day. He goes back to Sharpton's place, and that's when he put devil horns on Tommy Mottola's face and lifted up Tommy Mottola with little horns on his head. Now, at that point, we had this conference call with about 15 people on it. Russell Simmons, Jermaine Jackson, a couple of PR people, lawyers, all this on the phone. And Russell Simmons came out against Michael Jackson with Sharpton, saying Michael got $30 million to make a record, which ain't true, and he ought to shut up. And he was at the NAACP convention in Texas. His #1 aide now is Minister Benjamin, who was, I should say, it's Ben Chavis, who was Minister Benjamin. Alright? And he had to be, he moved over to Russell Simmons, and Russell Simmons said, fuck Michael, fuck y'all, I'm the blackest guy out here, I'm the godfather of black, I'm the blackest thing, I give black this, I'm black that, I'm black all of this. And I said, well, brother, we're on this conference call, we agreed to a 10 o'clock conference call on the third day, and all I was asking is that I'm considering representing this family, and all I like to do is say what Brother Collins said. Black law for all black people. If we in a fight with a white man, we don't want no black person getting in the fight. Let us fight the white man straight up. Alright? So, I said, fuck that. He said, hold on, like he had to go away. He hears me tell everybody on the conference call, I'm just telling the brother simply, black law for all. I heard that. I ain't going for that. He just went 20 minutes talking a bunch of shit. And then I said, oh, brother, I got to stop you. I just got to tell you this. If I hang up this phone tonight, and me and you and my client ain't straight, I can guarantee you, brother, whatever you are, I got at least one good picture of you on that spiral staircase in your house in Long Island with something in your mouth. And I guarantee you, if I hang up this phone tonight, and we ain't straight, tomorrow we will be. He just, he goes to Minister Benjamin, Ben Chavis, and asks, who is Coakley? Well, Minister Benjamin, man, we got a little history. He was out in L.A. one time with Tony Muhammad saying there wasn't no such thing as the Boule. Laughing and giggling on the radio with the list in his hand that somebody had left at the station saying, I don't even know what this thing is. There's some phony shit, blah, 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 blah. Okay, bullshit, it found it right here in Philly. You all remember the day Anton Chaikin was up in here in Philly at the International House talking about Coakley fabricating that there's an existence of a black secret society named Boule causing all kind of trouble in the black community. Wants to be an FBI agent. We got that one too. That's when the brother stood up and said, I have the 1911 state charter, handwritten, where the Boule was incorporated in the state of Pennsylvania. What do you mean it don't exist? Anton Chaikin packed up his shit and went out the door. Because you never know where the Copleyeites are. Because they're black-looking people and black-acting people. Now, this is on the cover now, but the Copley Boule tape will do you all that they could never tell you, and then go get the magazine. I just told her that there's no thing better than the Boule than on that table. I don't send nobody to nobody white until I send them to somebody black. Then I send them to black-looking people. So if you know that, if you know base theory on Boule at Florida A&M, well, I'm real strong, which is why the other brother couldn't get off down there, set me up, because I'm real strong down there. We shut down the campus 3 full times, including Naeem Akbar and Tony Browder when they wasn't acting right. We had busted the campus up. They put up $75,000 to do some re-education because they was miseducating. And then all these other Johnny-come-latelys come in and snatch up all the money. But they didn't have nothing to do with bringing it about. So we shouldn't have to worry about whether they should take it. They should step back and say, I didn't bring it about, I don't want it. But they went on and took it, so we busted them up, and Randall Robertson left at the airport, went home. That's when we did Operation Butthead. Put booties out with Tony Brown and Naeem Akbar and Tony Brown a face on it and shit, and chased them all around the campus like little punks. But bottom line is this. Sharpton goes and double takes them. We had this meeting on the phone. We agree at the end of this that, you know, after all of that, Russell Simmons comes back in and said, well, I promise that I'm never going to say nothing again. I'm never going to say nothing again. I'm never going to say nothing again because, thank you, Bob. I ain't going to say nothing again because I ain't going to get into this. And then when we hung up the phone, Jermaine said, I don't know who you are, Copley. God damn, it was a real deep thing. And to show you how God work, I thought I was taping the shit. And turned up, I had the tape on pause. Shit get on the tape. But then maybe that was kind of good, because if I had played you this tape and you had heard this shit, and Jermaine said, Steve, tell him about my wife, tell him about my wife. I didn't know that Jermaine used to be married to Berry Gordy's daughter, and Berry Gordy's daughter now works for Russell Simmons. So they're thinking that part of that antagonism at the family had something to do with the wife, the first wife. And I wasn't in on, I don't know none of that. I'm not big on the music people. When my son said Public Enemy was on the phone, I didn't know who Public Enemy was. On and on. So it's a lot of that type of stuff. In fact, they were on the program Monday in Atlanta. Lived long enough to watch it all come back to Grip and watch them all come back to me. But in Billboard, Variety, all the magazines, Chuck repudiated me. Sony was holding up that $250,000 check per man. And all they had to do was repudiate me. Everybody did it but Grip. Grip left and went did pawns in the game with brother down there in Florida, Luke. Did with Luke. Then they busted Luke down, took his name. They didn't push Grip out. Now he just do booty music and shit. Long story short, they wanted a press release to defend them. Everybody submitted something in the press release. When the 20 paragraphs came out, 19 came off of my pad. I hadn't taken a penny from them. I still ain't took a penny from them. So when the press release went out, white folks stopped messing with them, because in the press release said we will form a global information network on the music business called TruthForTheMusic.com. In fact, some of you, if you go back, you'll remember an interview with Jermaine Jackson in The Final Call. That was my interview. He wanted to do Access Hollywood. I fly you to LA, we're going to do Access Hollywood with Pat O'Brien coming to the house. I said, he may, but I don't do white press. So I ain't going to Access Hollywood, I ain't going to Letterman, I ain't going to Leno, I go to Final Call, I go to the Philadelphia Black Star, I go to the Daily Challenge in New York, I go to the Chicago Defender in Chicago. I don't fuck with their white people stuff. I can let you talk to every black person unadulterated in this country, but you got to give up that white shit. So we did Final Call, everything ran in that article. He did Access Hollywood, they cut out all of the key shit. Global Information Network, all of that they cut out. We're going to profile the top 10 companies in the music business, their boards of directors, their correspondent banks, what banks their accounts are in. The whole works is all up in that Final Call article with Brother Eric interviews Jermaine. Now, all all of that to say that once it came down, the lawyers and the attorneys that work for the Jackson family looked me up on the internet. Here come all this ADL shit, Coakley anti-Semitic. So I'm in Cincinnati doing Beats in the 666. This is August. And right in the middle of the lecture, somebody walks up and said, we got a call on the cell phone for you. I said, well, who is it? I'm doing that. Said, it's Catherine. I said, Catherine who? Said, Catherine Jackson, the mama. They had a big powwow at Neverland over whether they was going with Coakley or not. I didn't ask them to do shit. I didn't agree to get with them. We're all just talking, we boxing, everybody's loosening up a little bit. And Catherine says, we just had a meeting at the house. Everybody ran to her to tell me to go get lost. She gets on the phone and says, I don't know who you are, Mr. Coakley. I sent him that crossfire tape. Me and Art Rubin, but you are the man to represent our family. And they have told me that Jewish people and white people will fuck with us if we mess with you. And I will tell you that it can't get any worse than it is now. They're already fucking with us. They're already doing it. And she said, I'm Jehovah's Witness now, excuse my language. She went on, cussed up a storm. And her point was this simple. Look, brother, we're getting our ass kicked. These honkies got us so we can't even get money out the bank accounts. They got my son drugged up in Germany. They wouldn't even let, they sent me all of these documents. I stopped carrying them. It was a big old pile of documents showing me record sales. Say on one particular night, 27 limousines were charged to Michael Jackson's account. In 13 different cities, 27 limousines running around charged to Michael Jackson. None of them doing shit for Michael Jackson. Just, in Senegal, they say he sold 100,000 records, but the Senegalese say he sold 2 million. They say he only sold 3 million of one record, this last one, but they printed 18 million copies. Ain't none of them around. It just goes on and on. So then Jermaine plays golf with Jada Pinkett and Will Smith. Like next door is Jada Pinkett and Will. Across the street is Martin Lawrence. What's his name? Jamie Foxx. All these people live in one big community in Encino. So the deal is, Coakley, you come here and you do your lecture. Everybody throw in 1,000 to 5,000 a head. After you do your lecture, we do our music deal. So I ain't been moving. I ain't done shit. So they put the contract on my website because I ain't been doing shit. I'm not going to work with them until I ask you. They don't understand that. See, I can't help them because I'm only you. When I pass that hat, you put that money in there, that's all I know. I don't know nothing but what's on that table. I don't know nothing about no Jackson. I don't know nothing about no home run hitters or no touchdown getters. I don't know nothing about none of that. I only know you. Because of whatever I am, I'm sitting with 9 teeth, and whatever I am is only because of you. So I don't know what they're about. I don't know where they're going. I don't even know who they're against. But I can't get with them unless you say it's okay. That's just something you have to understand.
Hey, Brother Steve, I got a question for you.
Oh, hold on just a minute, Bob. I ain't few talking. It's all right if I go ahead and talk a little bit? All right, we got all these working cameramen tonight, huh? These double-headed eagles and stuff. All right, that's my man here. He ain't said nothing since the last time, right? He did pretty good, so he told no, I said no, he didn't know it. Come on, man, come on.
No, I just wanted to know who the sister was that's taking the picture with the striped jacket, She told me to ask you.
She told me to ask you
who she was.
Okay. She agreed that we'll get a copy of the pictures too, right? And
well, who is she? You know her from where?
D.C., Atlanta.
All right, you personally know.
But hold on, stop, sister, hold it now, stop. Have a seat. I have more problems with him in my life than ever with you. So I don't even know where he's going with that.
No, because she just took my picture from here, so I was just wondering who she was.
Probably gonna sell it. You a handsome man, gonna blow it up. And she might gonna blow your picture up and sell it at the art fair or something, right?
I just wanted to put on the record.
Like this guy right here, and her or whoever, we do what? Right? So it's likely. Now, if any of my pictures ended up anywhere, and just be one ugly picture somewhere, you know. Hey, is that TV working? So a couple of things, music corporations, we'll get to that. And all of the conversation related to what happened says Coakley, Jackson, and music. That's not Jesse Jackson. That's the Jackson family. It's all in that tape on Stevie Wonder station. He agreed to help. A lot of people have agreed to help. For example, I've been taking testimony. I've been taking testimony of Van McCoy. What did he sing? What was his song, Van McCoy? The Hustle. Sold 8 million copies. Talked to his wife. He dead. Ain't received 1 penny from any of the 8 million copies they sold. All that vibe Vibe and Source and all them magazines at XX, not one of them ever do an expose on people getting cheated in the music business. It's all a high glossy, everything cool, dope. They got cars and rings and all that shit. There's not one single expose in one of them magazines about the sellout in the music business. That's because they're part of the prop. That what they do is they give these niggas an advance, they give them 70,000, they never make more than the advance. Usually they say, you made 52, we need 18 back. Then they go, what do you mean 18? I sold 2 million copies. I said, but we have to pay this hunky, and that hunky, and that hunky, and that hunky, and they got no counts on the records. You'd be better off selling it out of your car. Because at least you can count. Somebody say, Coakley, you need to write a book. I said, what is the biggest selling black book? They said, I don't know. I said, well, I don't know about the book, and I will, don't tell nobody. But at 2004, the Boule gonna be 100 years old, right? They're gonna have a big set. It's a $6 million celebration on their 100th anniversary. You know where they're gonna be? Right here in Philadelphia. But right when they get to be 100, gonna come the Boule book. It's gonna meet them at their biggest and finest moment. Don't tell nobody. 2004. So you can't put that on a picture. 2004, come the Boule book, and it's gonna knock down the whole wild of shit. Now, somebody said, well, we'll kill them before the book come out. Nah, shit's all on tape. Somebody get this tape. They said, man, you mentioned that other tape in the tape, so I gotta get this tape. Now, 4 or 5 tapes later, somebody telling me get a book. Nigga got the book, ain't finished reading. I got all the books, ain't read shit. Don't know what's on no pages of the book. Anyway, we got some more things going with the King assassination and the King family. We're gonna be in New York, December 14th at the Black Holocaust Council. I had pulled out of it, but now I just went back in it today. There'll be a lot of people up there. December 14th at the National Black Arts Theater in Harlem. December 14th, it's a Saturday. Start 9 a.m. or finish about 9 a.m. the next day. Don't show up at midnight, though. Probably can't get in. I'll be having a midnight meeting at that point. Okay. Which part? December 14th, the National Black Arts Theater in Harlem. I can't tell you that. That's right off 125th Street. I'm a member of the National Black Arts Theater. Maybe I can find my membership card in my wallet. Might have an address on it. And, oh, here it is here. See if there's an address on there for me, sister. That's the National Theater. I don't know the address. Maybe brother left a flyer here last week of the program. I don't know. Yes. Uh-huh. Say he spent $230,000 on a doctor's visit. And what doctor charged somebody $230,000 for one visit?
Supposed to be one from Germany.
That's some hunky shit. Now, they asked the German government to prosecute him for lifting the baby over the banister. The German government came back and said, we ain't gonna do that. Why? Because the Germans still don't like the Jews, and who don't like, Jew me, sue me, all the rest of that shit in there. So there's a little relationship where the Germans ain't gonna cross the brother because he's knocking the Jews, and the Jews still knocking the Germans, and then it's German Jews. Ooh, it gets all confusing and shit, but...
Terror, an imaginary terror. We'll be back. All your white people friends.
In all the research I did, discovered that the murder rate had gone down by 20%. The coverage, that is how many murders are on the evening news, it went up by 600%.
Murders went down, but murders on television went up 600%. That's just one part. Let's go back to this part where he does a little cartoon about white people and guns. And while we were in Albany, they charged the students big-time security money to have Jeffries and myself, more than we were getting in honorarium. And so, in the process, when I broke this down to the students about look what white people do when they get afraid, the answer is they go get guns. So I turned them around and made them look around the wall at all them police and military they made come to the lecture, quote, because there was going to be trouble. They needed to secure us. And what did all of them have? Guns. Every one of them. And I was explaining to them the only person that we were going to have a problem with the lecture was them. But then I thank God for sending me them damn security guards and them police and them army people, because I said before the night is over, y'all will be with me. And one by one, they start tipping on the down low. This is Sergeant Lunez. I'm with you, brother. This one over here, I just can't wait to hear Coakley. One dude was telling him to go to lunch. He said, I'm standing here listening to the lecture. white kids out there who have been sent by the ADL to come block my lecture. White boy stood up and said, last year I was insulted. I was sent here to undermine your lecture, and when I got here, I found you was all the man I wanted to be. So I want to tell you, I'm tired of my white people misleading us white people about real black people. And so the white said, would you be our speaker? Okay, now, check Oprah now. She would never let a black person say what she let the white man say. But because he was a white man, she put him on.
That's something.
But this cartoon is real heavy. I may have to show it to you twice.
The guns in
It's
this
deep.
country
Really deep.
purchased by white people in the suburbs or in the safe, quote, safe parts of town. Why are they buying all these guns? Why? What is at the core of this? And I wanted to sort of explore what I see as the historical underpinnings of this.
Okay, keep in mind, this is Michael's interpretation.
Yes.
Now, if anybody got to leave early and they need tape, just come on up to the table. I'll take care of you.
Really like it.
She says, I really like what he did, but it's his, not mine.
American history in his film.
I may have messed that up, so let me just go back. Show how she puts her own disclaimer in.
Okay, keep in mind, this is Michael's interpretation.
Yes.
It's in the film. It's not my interpretation, but I really like it.
In fact, the voice in it sounds like her. Listen.
Of American history in his film.
Now, she made the boy Dr. Phil.
Take a look. reason why other countries don't?
It's an interesting little breakdown in here.
People historically were not as afraid?
Yes, and because race didn't play such a large part of their makeup and their character. I mean, it's very telling that the first massive act of violence we committed was a genocide against a race of people that were not us, the Indians, the Native Americans. And to this day, the way that our racial fears are manipulated in ways to where white people believe that they've got to go out and buy these guns. You know, 70% of the murders that occur are between people who know each other. The majority are amongst actually white people, not black people. And yet...
You wouldn't know that to look at the evening news.
You wouldn't know that.
You wouldn't know that to look at the evening news.
You know, you can't...
Black men are depicted on the evening news.
That's correct.
Many rightfully so.
Right, but it's a constant, you know, it creates the sense of almost hysteria, I think, amongst white people.
Correct.
That they need to be afraid of black people. And so they go out, they buy these guns, and sadly they end up being used, you know, husbands, wives, boyfriends, girlfriends, neighbors, the kids get into the gun drawer or whatever. That's what happens. And 300,000 guns a year are stolen and end up oftentimes in the inner city. And you see in the film, this white kid and these other white kids, they go and steal guns in the suburbs and then bring them into the inner city, in this case in Detroit, to sell them for 1/10 the price of what the gun costs.
Right.
And so they bring this violence then into the inner city. It's you know, there are no gun stores in the inner city in Detroit, or I doubt that there are any in Chicago. You can't go and buy a gun. Where do these guns come from? It's like Jesse Jackson says about drugs. I've never met a black person who owns a ship or a plane that's bringing these drugs in, you know, and sadly the black community is the end result a lot of times of the violence. But where does this start? It starts out in the suburbs where people are so deathly afraid that something's going to happen to them. And what I feel is so sad about this, Oprah, is that we're at a point where it's almost like a mental illness with us, a collective mental illness, that we see a black person and we suddenly get afraid. If you ask those of us who are white, ask yourself, what do you think it is that might harm you if you walk out of here at night? Is it little freckle-faced Jimmy? Is that the image that pops into your head? Or is it Hakeem or Jose? You know, if we're honest, we know the answer to that question.
Now watch this part.
And it's how did we get this way? Again, I have to bring this up.
There's a little history of himself.
How did we get to this point? Because it's, to me, I think, personally, if I see white people coming at me, I'm more afraid of that. Because I made a list in my head of all the white people, I mean, of all the tragedies that have occurred in my life. You know, the guy who fired me, he was white. You know, the network executive who canceled my TV show, he was white. You know, the car salesman who sold me a lemon, whitey. The landlord that, you know, didn't return my security deposit, whitey. You know, like my whole life, it's like I should be, if I see white people coming in down the street, I should cross over to the other side, you know, because it's like, that's where most of the tragedy has come with me. It's like, how did we get this perpetuated? It's perpetuated over
and over again. But you know, we're at an interesting stage of the revolution when a white man come on a black woman show and talk about how fucked up white people are. Just a real interesting evolution. Oprah would never allow, remember I was supposed to be on the Oprah show. And she canceled me because the ADL told her she couldn't have me. And she is, okay, here we go, let's do this. I don't want to miss getting white people now. We didn't talk about a lot of black people. I done messed with Henry, and we done got Juan, and we got all one, Deacon Dale, this and that. But how many of y'all got a copy of this at y'all? How many of y'all believe in change and revolution? I say revolution, everybody get a little scared. Everybody. Well, it'd be hard having a revolution without having at least one of these. Because at least this tells you who you're revolting against. Forbes 400 Richest People. This is the 20,000th edition. This is probably hard to find, but there's still some copies. They stay on there for months.